matches that we're seeing.
Under the ML. And here we go. How did you burn off your Niners initiation? 7, 6, 5, 4 stage engine start. 3, 2, 1. And I'm back.
So that was 3 years ago. You can imagine.
Hi. Oh, shit. Hi guys. Welcome to another stream. This is a very special one. It's just my commentary on Artemis 2. Wait, hold up. Let me just write something.
It's really great that you're able to support us here on NSF. We are just a bunch
Oh,
of
hold up.
space nerds that are trying to do our best to answer your questions and give you the best coverage and try and make it as entertaining as possible. I was moaning earlier that the other streams were a little bit boring, a bit stale.
Okay, this is a bit too big. But what I'm trying to say here is that if you want better commentary, I definitely recommend you to watch official streams. Let me just type that into chat instead.
With all the excitement around crew flying to the moon on Artemis 2, some of you may be wondering, what about Artemis 1? Well, for those who don't know or want a quick refresher, here's the mission that was key to this flight. Artemis 1 marks the return of NASA flying its own rocket and its own crew vehicle to space since the end of the space shuttle program in 2011. Built with some
Okay, I just sent this in my Instagram, so people, my friends could see this.
assembly building and
Yeah. Artemis 2. Oh shoot. Just give me a sec.
while working on the growing pains of the new rocket.
Okay, yeah. Artemis 2 is gonna be launching in a few hours. In my time, it's just morning. It's 0:00. Okay, yeah, you get the gist of it. But I'm very excited. Here's the
In this image.
stream. This is gonna be my reaction of the launch.
There was a Moonikin named Captain Moonkin Campos to help test radiation exposure. In addition,
Yeah, so I have multiple devices. I have 3 in total. Testing out this. I mean, not really testing. It's just like as like maybe extra layer of protection just in case of like one of them has like maybe an ad playing, but yeah, it's like all devices would probably have like an ad playing on them at the same time. But just in case if something happens to one of them, I would still have full coverage. Yeah. So while I wait for the launch, I'm just gonna be doing some paper modeling. Just give me a sec. I'll just like I'll find my materials for that. Yeah, because I recently printed out the Artemis 2 launch vehicle from AXN paper scaled models. Yeah, I'm gonna be making the model while we wait for launch. Yeah, let's wait here real quick.
1,000 miles from the moon's surface. On December 1st, Orion and the ESM left the moon.
I'm just gonna write something else up.
A long journey home. The capsule splashed down in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego, California on December 11th, following a fiery re-entry. It was placed inside a Navy ship and returned to shore, where our own cameras were able to capture what Orion.
Okay. I'm having handwriting's not that good, but you get the gist of it. Yeah. I'll be back real quick.
While Artemis 2 won't enter orbit around the moon, Artemis 1 helps NASA understand how their spacecraft, thrusters, and heat shield work, and gave them confidence to send these 4 humans back towards our own natural satellite.
From Sawyer, who was able to give us a bit of an idea of what was going on with the initial Artemis launch, Artemis 1. And of course, today we are looking at the new mission that's going to be taking off in a little over 2 hours and 21 minutes. And a big thank you to Sawyer, who's just taken a bit of a break. And I believe we're currently going to be joined very shortly by Max Evans, who spoke to Jared Isaacman last night and got a bit of an update of what's going on with the Artemis program after Artemis 2 and beyond, which is very exciting. We'll get to Max when he's already set up. So let's have a little bit of a catch up on where we are right now. Thank you so much for joining us here on the NSF countdown to the launch of the Artemis 2 mission. We are currently, as I mentioned before, 2 hours and 20 minutes away from the launch window opening at 6:24 p.m. local time in Florida. It is a 2-hour launch window, and we're very hopeful right now. It's all looking very positive that things are going to plan. Alex, the crew are on board. What do you think's going on right now?
Did we lose Alex?
Sorry, it took me a bit of a while there to unmute myself.
Okay, guys, I'm back now. Let me just. Where's
What are
the?
they doing
Just give me a quick second. I'm just trying to find the my camera here. Hold up. Let me just delete this and re-add it. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's not. Yeah, just give me a sec. I'm just trying to. Yeah, there we go. I'm just gonna be paper modeling. Yeah. We wait for the launch. Let's turn off that. Oh, I should also delete this. Doodles on the doodles here on my screen. Let me just. There we go.
Take a few
I'm still doodling now,
minutes and
but
count like
yeah, I don't really.
40 more units, right?
Okay, wait as I get just some paper. Yeah,
It should be
I'll be
at
getting paper.
1 hour and 40 minutes.
Not really paper, the template. Yeah, yeah.
Still,
Just
but
give me a sec again.
from that point in the count, and so once that gets going, it's
Okay, there's a.
basically 1.5 hours of just waiting
Um,
for the ground.
Okay, there's an ad playing on my screen right now. Okay.
Going through all of the data,
Just wait
right?
for a sec.
Going through everything and making sure that all is ready to go for terminal count. Those last 10 minutes, very active point in the count. That's when things will get more exciting for the new one released, of course. For the ground crew said,
Okay. Hold on. Let me just put on my.
Very much on track for things to
Yeah.
go.
Hi guys.
for that 6:20
My name is Mark again. But yeah, I'm paper modeling right now.
Brian, am I right that they seem to be very much on track for what
Yeah. Let me just.
Yeah, exactly. We just crossed beyond
There we
2
go.
hours and 10 minute switches in the official
Okay, now let's.
when the pre-module hatch is going to be closed.
Yeah, so I just recently printed this out. I'm still waiting for launch.
40 minutes, so we are within
Um,
that window. Again, just because we're 3 odd minutes beyond that point,
Let's go back to
of
the screen
pre-module
here.
hatch closure, and it's not entirely wrapped up yet. Again, don't worry about it. There's plenty of margin.
Yeah,
I
it's,
can't see it, and for the
This is a
time being,
template I printed. I say we just start with the mount.
7 of this 49-hour countdown.
Yeah, let's start with the mount.
Happening right now.
Okay, where do I put this at?
good sign for the
Um,
launch of the Artemis 2 mission on the SLS. We're getting some views right now of the SLS itself, the big orange vehicle. We had a question come in earlier, which I thought was quite entertaining, that asked, why is it orange? Why did they paint it orange? I believe Max is just joining us on the stream. Do you want to answer that one, Max? And you're very orange too.
Oh wait, just give me a sec. I'm just gonna get glue.
I
Yeah.
guess it fits the program quite well, doesn't it? So essentially what you were seeing is sodium spray on foam insulation, and its natural color is a lighter tan,
okay.
a lighter beige. It only gets more
Now
orange
let's
the
continue.
longer it sits in the sun, and a prime example of that is how long the Artemis 1 stack was outside for in its
Okay.
time here.
It's kind of
from
awkward. It's got an awkward position here.
in March
I do have a little
2000.
bump here that kind of blocking my. Let's start. Yeah. I do take some shortcuts while making my paper models, which is that you see these triangular tabs here. I don't really cut them at all. I just put lines in them. And also, this is the first time I'm showing you my paper models, how I make them. I don't mind the snoring there. Yeah. So let's continue here.
I think overall with the stack, it was.
If you have any questions, you can also ask me if you want. But I'll just be paper modeling here. Yeah.
Essentially, it is orange in its natural state, although
Actually, no, I should
the
also
darker it
say
sits outside the
chat
sun,
here.
the darker it gets.
It's getting a sun
Just give me a
tan.
sec
Why
here.
not? When you're in Florida, I feel like that's the thing to do.
Yeah.
I just
Very
wanted to,
appropriate, yeah.
yeah, very appropriate.
What do I say here?
We've had so much support coming in on the chat, and I
Okay,
really appreciate it. It really does make a
Yes.
huge difference to us, and we know that it's able to help support the crew that are out there on the ground as well. I just want to go through the tips and say a big thank you to
There you go.
Patrick.
Yeah, that's my father's just in the couch. He's sleeping right now. Yeah.
Continuing support from
Okay, let's continue.
and all the rest of the different live
Oh
coverage.
shite.
Patrick, thank you so much for a massive amount of support you've just given us to us, and we really do appreciate having that kind of level of support from you. Alan Ivan has come in with a $20 or £20 tip even. It says, "Go
Okay,
Artemis, go."
at this point, I'm just like,
Really appreciate you and all your support. It's always great to see.
I don't know. I'm just waiting for the launch.
The team that's out there and for the team.
I just said it multiple times. I don't know why I just said it multiple times.
Who's got a tip for us for $10?
Yeah.
My son, Will 6 is curious about.
I don't really know what to talk about right now.
Throw that question over to Ryan.
But-
Because you see a little bit
oh.
of water coming out when we're doing development, right?
Oh,
Yeah, so that is all the
there we go.
water
Yeah.
suppressed
That's
immense
that's
noise
okay.
that comes from the base of the rocket here because we have 4 RS-25 main engines on the orange core stage, 2 solid rocket boosters. Those are producing millions of pounds of thrust, millions of whatever unit you want to use of thrust. And if they didn't suppress all of the energy coming from those rocket engines, it could, well, it did, even with the suppression, almost destroy ML1 on Artemis 1, or destroy the mobile launcher. So that's basically used to protect core components of the mobile launcher, essentially to stop the launch pad shaking itself to bits, which is what that is used for. And they use, you'd imagine, to contain the forces or kind of distribute the forces from this immense rocket. They use a serious amount of water to do that. And you can see that huge water tower over to the right-hand side, next to SOS. Yeah, that's a lot of water they need to
Yes. So
Absolutely. And those tips keep coming in. A big thank you to Jason for his $20 tip. He says thank you for taking the time to do what you do. We're here for you guys. You know, we are just a bunch of space nerds that want to make sure you guys are as up to date as possible with all the information going on and get a channel that are able to talk about the things that maybe other channels are not able to talk about. Joa has come in with a $100 tip. Go Artemis 2. I love how the hard science of space is not superstitious. There's definitely a little stitious. I think it means like today is obviously April Fool's. We haven't really talked about it. You know, obviously the launch trajectory of what this mission is about wasn't going to pause just because today is April the 1st. But they seem to be going ahead with this on this day anyway. It's not a joke. We are really going to
just real quick here.
to see a launch today.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that things look good here.
Very exciting thing. So big thank you.
And also, I think I should just be putting some music here. Oh, it's already out. Okay, there we go. Now let's just continue paper modeling. I don't really know what, as I said, I already don't know what to talk about right now. You can ask me anything in the comments if you'd like to ask any questions to me. I might be staying here for about 4 hours. The stream might last for 4 hours if the vehicle doesn't end up flying today. Hopefully it does. If it does, then it would probably last much longer. Although I might not be present, I will definitely not be present during stream because I do have online classes. But I could still tend to the stream during breaks. I will not be watching the launch. Like, I mean, I am gonna be watching the launch, but I'm not gonna probably be. I could watch the TLI if the launch occurs in 2 a.m. in my local area, but yeah, I just wanted to say that maybe I might not be present for TLI if if it starts at 4 a.m. Hopefully my teachers would be aware so they could probably at least maybe watch the stream, give us a break, but if they don't, then I'm gonna have to attend the classes. So yeah. Okay, okay. I don't usually paper model in this way. It's a bit more chaotic. Yeah. I guess I could also. Let me just. I'm just gonna make. As I said, I'm already just gonna be making the base of the vehicle. Yeah. I'm definitely not going to be completing the vehicle today. I would like to note that. Yeah, it's very obvious already that I'm not going to be completing the paper model today. I just started with it. How do I place the flashlight? Yeah, so. Okay, just give me a sec. Okay, that's much better. I'm in a better configuration right now.
None of that concern right now so far. If anything, it's picturesque the way it is blowing the flag currently around. So it's not awful right now.
Okay, once we get much closer to that launch time, I'm going to be stopping everything I'm doing right now, and I'm just going to focus on the launch. Yeah. Also, I might not be posting that much for some time. I am going to be posting episode 8, however, but there's some things happening. I'm not going to disclose, but yeah. Yeah. I also might post a video of how I make my craft files in KSD. Okay, I'm talking too much right now.
It's always wonderful when they butt in and follow up. So as we continue to carry that, there's of course other stuff going on. We are expecting the launch of all system proposed over the next 28 minutes or so. Right. There we go. So there we go. It looks like NASA is saying that the crew cabin is being vented to right pressure. It must be sealed because you can't do that if it wasn't sealed. So that is when it's there in the process of getting Orion ready for flight. What's your take on this so far? Wetlands 1 wasn't great, I think everybody can say that. Wetlands 2, things went incredibly smoothly. This time round, it seems in my opinion, to be like Wetlands 2. I'm almost
Okay, oh wait, just give me a quick second right now. I'm just gonna do something. Hi guys, I'm back. Just give me a second to pop up my camera here. Oh, I also deleted the mess. I just realized I deleted. I'll just put a smiley face here, just extra friendliness. There you go. Okay, let's continue. We're 2 hours away from flight now. Oh, I did some error here. Oh, sorry. Oh, hold on, let me just check yeah, just nothing here. Okay, there we go. I don't really need those. I don't really need those formers because I have a thicker paper here. I'm supposed to use 110. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. Although maybe those formers are useful. I do like to cut some time here because I don't really have a lot of time for paper modeling. I have other things to do as well, like other hobbies. Yeah. Also, I'm working on a lot of other projects. I won't really disclose what they are. Maybe I could show you right now. I have my Tinkercad tab here open. I even have hardware of them, although I don't have the electronics yet. Okay, I did kind of spoil what it could be. But just by saying by electronics doesn't really mean that I fully spoiled it, but yeah. I'm trying to scavenge through. Just give me a sec. I need my flashlight here. Yeah, I'm in my living room right now. Yeah, it's normally a bit messy because I don't really use it. So, my family, including my sister, she kind of makes a mess here. Okay, I found it. Oh. Okay, let's put it up here.
There are a number of very well-known personalities talking to millions of people. We are able to be here with a whole bunch of cameras, a whole bunch of microphones.
Okay, I'm just gonna be cutting this part here first.
And having people in town watching our saying, "Let me get Julia."
This is.
I'm almost stuck in between trying to savor the experience and enjoy.
I just want to make sure that this is fully live.
It just doesn't happen often.
Because normally,
In best case scenario,
I don't know.
it happens once every 10 months, right? But the last time we had this was 3.5 years ago with Artemis 1 launching in November of 2022. It is now April 2026. So
Also, I did mention this, but I did make a James Webb Telescope analog in my Twitch channel. Yes, it's named the Galileo Telescope, although I might name it to something else, as I said in the stream. Oh. I don't really need to be accurate here at the tip. Okay, I did mess up the end here, but it doesn't really matter here, because I don't know what I'm going to say.
And that's something that I don't know if words can properly describe well enough, let alone over camera or in person.
Hopefully we see this vehicle fly today, because I'm not really... Okay, I am definitely going to be watching all the attempts that they make, but I'm worried that some of them would be during morning. Although those launch attempts would probably be morning and my weekend in Dubai here, so I could still watch it. Yeah, you get it. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. There's like ads playing here on my TV here. Yeah, I have a television here. That's why I have multiple devices here playing the stream just in case if that happens. I get very paranoid, including an IFT5. I never streamed that, but an ad played before the catch, and that was horrible. That was utterly horrible, and I was so disappointed. You know? Yeah.
The confidence in that is just the level of importance this mission is carrying. So, yeah, there are a number of nationalities. Hey, helicopter, nice. And there are a number of.
I can also bring on my my other paper models if you guys want right now. I can just show it.
Yeah. Still care that missions in missions of this sort and space flight in general has not lost touch with the public at all. At least in terms of going to the moon. And hopefully this can respark some interest from the next generation of engineers, media personnel,
Well, the stream here is very doesn't really have a lot of people in it.
program, and hopefully others going forward. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it is just a wonderful place to be.
Absolutely. I think we had a bit of a glitch on screen showing some of our merchandise. I apologise for that. We'll see what we can do to make sure we correct that as quickly as possible. Seems to have been a little bit better over the last couple of minutes. Captain Skyhawk has come in with a $50 super chat and a bit of a fun question. I'm going to throw out there to you, Ryan. How much bigger would the vehicle need to be if it was going to go around Mars instead of the Moon? Kind of a difficult one to answer given the length of the duration to apply to Mars, but could you guesstimate how much bigger a vehicle would need to be?
It all depends what you're going to be sending. If you're going to be sending a fully fortified crew module, then you're going to need a much bigger second stage with regards to the change in velocity that can support doing such a burn to get all the way out to Mars. But you'll be surprised to know it's not actually that big of a vehicle, much bigger than you would need for that, because there isn't really, when he's going into the future as we look at Mars, there isn't really going to be a direct to Mars vehicle. There is going to be more with current transfer to refuel vehicles. So the traditional way that we think about designing rockets, all of the fuel on it and lift off and then send it as far as we can into the solar system. That would apply because we'll be at a new age of on-orbit rock transfer, cryogenic rock transfer, which means that you can send up one spacecraft, say Starship or Blue Origin's system of transporter, and you can refill that spacecraft with propellant, and then it has a full tank and it can literally go as far as it can. And you no longer have to worry about expending any fuel at liftoff, because you can just top it back up with a depot or a propellant tanker or something like that. So you don't actually need a vehicle that much bigger anymore to be able to do at least in the near future to be able to do missions like that, which is, that's pretty exciting. One of the things that will make those vehicles really, really interesting to keep an eye on, as we do.
Absolutely, a great question. Thank you for that and your super chat as well. We've just had a tip come in from Martin Russ. Big thank you to your $100 tip. Thanks a lot for doing this. I'm new to this channel and I like it a lot. Regards from Switzerland. We really appreciate it when we get new members that come on board, when we get new viewers coming in and sending us hints and tips and questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. We do appreciate it.
Okay.
A few times we are NSF, not the NASA. We're just a bunch of fun space nerds that want to be able to bring you the coverage the best we can to talk about what's happening, what we can expect, and what we can see coming up in the next few hours. Because we are getting very, very close. We actually just went under the 2-hour mark, almost. It's like a blink of this and then it goes.
Okay. Also, I'd like to know that that guy in the chat named Mark Wambugu is my friend. He has a similar name to me. Although we're different nationalities, we're very good friends. Okay, I forgot the position of this shit.
One of our audience members asked, why has the closeout group got numbers on there?
It's essentially for ease.
Okay, I'm trying to just figure out what position of this should be.
Many of the features you would use to identify a person are obscured for the fact that they're protecting the crew.
I think it's safe to.
As we were talking about earlier, the
Here. I'm just gonna position everything so it's easier to work with. I don't want any mistakes here. Okay, I'm missing a tab. Okay, that's good. Just bring everything here. Okay, I'm missing a tab here. Just give me a sec. Oh, there it is. It's just on the floor. Never mind. Okay, we're under 2 hours away from launch. Once we reach about maybe 30 minutes before launch, then I would keep my eyes on the vehicle. I know this is a very weird technique, but it's actually just a, what do you call this? It's a habit I built up ever since I printed my first paper model.
We do seem to be doing really well when it comes to the timeline right now, Max. Is the consensus on the ground that things are going to go ahead at the 6:20 p.m. launch window?
Well, it's funny you say that, Alice. I'm reading the back channel now, and thanks, Lisa. Apparently, Daryl on the NASA stream is reading about the
Positioned as well.
also related to the FTS for the flight termination system. I haven't
I know.
to that. I haven't read anything about the sword yet, so I'm not entirely informed of what exactly is the nature of the problem there. But as far as timeline goes, they are still ahead of schedule, and they should be getting ready to close the launch abort system hatch, or that white cover there that goes over the Orion spacecraft in about 13 or so minutes time, and that was what the timeline says. So apparently, Daryl said it's a pretty unique situation for
If it works, it works, I guess. Well, it doesn't. It will really depend whether or not I could fit this here, and if it doesn't really fit here, then I would definitely add cut these little triangles there.
So, if the answer to this question changes most based on the calendar that is going to be used, and it also basically changed because the new gateway space station is, as we have been talking about for the last week.
Let's give me a quick second. Let me just. Okay, let's continue. Let me just get my camera back out. There we go. Let me just pull things up here. There we go. I'm going to be folding these little tabs later. Let's focus on the engine mounts here. I should be using a better technique to make these pieces here curved. I did make a little replica for a school project. It was more of like a boilerplate. Oh, hold on, let me just check if this is 1 to 96 scale. Yeah, it is. Okay, never mind. Well, my Starship collection is more of 1 to 100. But I guess this could also fit in, as the size change would not be that noticeable, although there's a difference of 4. Yeah, I'm just kind of worried about the size difference. I want it to be more 1 to 100. Yeah. Okay, I also believe that the ICPS and the core stage of the SLS is already topped. The SRBs have been topped for a year already. Yeah. I would just like to note that as well. Because usually the SRBs, it is known that the solid fuel in them come with the segments, of course. I would just like to note that. Although it's very obvious, or at least it's already common knowledge.
But any spacecraft being or undergoing super high temperatures like you can get during atmospheric entry before you go long even if you're the best of that shield that's not going to be long period of time, especially when you're traveling at the clock. That's limited to go and come back from the moon once the force as you
It's crazy to think that vehicle I'm seeing right now is going to perform a descent maneuver. All of the stages here, except for the Orion Command Module, some parts of it would be expended. It's crazy to think, it's amazing actually. We're also approaching that 1 hour mark rather quickly. Okay, I could just integrate the little adapter there with the main core stage, it's okay.
Alright, ready for another reading on the CPA pressure gauge if you're ready to go.
Yes, sir. It is 2600 PSI.
That'll be 2600. Very good.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Right as I get the
This is gonna be a very weird technique I use to glue stuff. But I do like to use my fingers to spread out the portions of glue here. It is weird, but it is the most reliable way of spreading glue I have found here. It's more reliable. I have more control, actually. But it does get kind of messy, but I could manage with it. I also like to make sure that there's no glue in my hands before I touch parts of the paper model. Otherwise, there'll be purple splotches,
Signals that are sent to that flight information system of the rocket. Right now, it seems like that is one of the issues that we're working on. That perhaps it is not actually working, right? That single sent testing they've been working on as some of the data that we were getting, or rather commentary that we were getting from NASA is that it literally took shuttle equipment.
I like to note that that camera angle there is amazing. The one with the edges on it. Well, yeah. I'm just admiring the view. I also didn't really familiarize myself with the pre-launch events. I should probably familiarize them, and maybe in Artemis 3. I'm hearing there's a problem. I don't know what it is. I was busy paper modeling. I don't know what it is, but there's a high chance it could be hardware because weather here looks kind of good. The wind doesn't look that strong, maybe. I don't know. Should probably check the wind speed, yeah. With the weather, I mean. Because I do think that like, Florida has some crazy weather conditions. Although I'm more used to seeing star-based weather conditions. Yep. Including the IFT-10 delays. One of them was caused by hardware, the other one was caused by weather, you know? Yeah, just remember IFT-10. I didn't stream that, I think. But yeah, you get the gist of it. That's it like that. I believe it's April the 2nd in... Yeah, it's April 2nd in my area, but I think it's April 1st on the first launch attempt for the SLS here. I swear if it's like... If it gets delayed, just... There's another ad. Let me just skip that one real quick. It's on my television here. Let me also check if there's any delay here. Okay, there we go. Let's continue. Oh, good point. I really want to talk about one of my projects here. Or like Tinkercad model I made here. It does also have a real life. It has hardware right now also. I also like to reiterate that. I also have to check the positioning for this. Also, the engine mount there doesn't really look chill. Like, doesn't look tanned as to my paper model here. I think it's a mistake here, but it is. It could just be an effect of lighting. Yeah, it is definitely probably an effect of lighting. Maybe.
Well, at the moment, I'm seeing a camera and a laptop, so you're working on a camera, and many other 10 cameras off to my right and to my left, so I can't really say I see much beyond that currently. But for my time walking around earlier, it's 10 camera galore, 10 cameras galore everywhere, in stages. People are, it's becoming like a borderline ant colony right now with how many booths. That's it. So it's a borderline ant colony right now. Sorry, thank you.
I think someone's giving you the hint. Stay hydrated.
I know, right? So, yeah, it's
I'm thinking of maybe adding a former here first. Yeah. Let me bring my microphone here closer. Oh.
And it is also that recently discovered issue with the Artemis range is ever so presently undefined now. And time is, I don't want to say time is running out to solve the issue because they have a whole 2-hour window should they need it.
Okay, it does fit.
But I think at the moment,
This is
so far still pretty
lights here. Then we will attach it back in.
because I think as we get closer to window opening, I think the weather is going to be more and more in our favor.
range.
We are currently reaching that L minus, or just gone past L minus 1 hour and 40 minutes. At this point, we are expecting the launch of all system hatch closure for the flight. So we are hoping an update on that in the next 10 minutes or so to see
Okay.
if they are going ahead with it. You can see that crew have been
Double
working
cooling.
for quite some time now. It's been a while since
Former
the
here.
crew got over to
Okay, now let's just attach it
the
back in.
capsule and started to get into their seats and get ready. The team has been working to close the hatches, and there's multiple of them that we have to close to make sure that they are safe and ready to go. Ryan, I know you've done a great job of explaining it so far to all of us. Remind us again, what is it they're working on right now, and why is it taking so long to simply?
I do like the new former here. They used to be more triangular, but could just be only for Starship. Yeah. I also made multiple Artemis 1 SLSs. I even have one mini one, but it does have a really green like splotch on it due to water splashing on it and ruining the exterior of the vehicle. So to really reiterate that. I like to say reiterate a lot for some reason. Like, yeah.
But then you suddenly have a huge hole in the side of your pressure vessel, which you need to be able to seal up for a 10-day period to keep the crew inside pressure line, which is what they have been spending the last, over an hour at this point doing. If they haven't done so already, I think they might have done, but if they haven't done so already, surely they'll be close enough to go by a crew module hatch. And this is the actual pressurized crew module that needs to be protected by that.
I'm just going to be adding this one. Oh. After engine round.
Saying that they will pressurize the crew module. So, pressurize the crew module, you need to have the hatch closed off and sealed. So that might have already been closed off in the wiring. So it's difficult to see from this angle. But we can see
Nice.
however,
Doesn't really say anything here. I'm just gonna go for chances here. Just kidding, I'm not gonna go for chances. Obviously check the website for more info.
And that's because the Crew Dragon has an integrated launchable system. It has Super Draco thrusters built into the capsule itself, which, God forbid, ever needed, they will then ignite and
Oh, the range is... Oh, there's a flight termination system issue. Okay, I just read that. Shut. Oh.
Capsule and the Mercury capsule as well. They use like a puller launchable system. This is essentially, in layman's terms,
Hopefully they could fix it before before it could affect the launch time of the vehicle. But if it were to not launch today due to that flight termination system issue, I believe they could easily access it. They did do some changes where they could now access the flight termination system easily, so they don't need to at least roll back the vehicle. You know? Yeah. Okay, let's check the website. There we go. Just want to check the aft a bit and make sure I'm doing things right here. Well,
absolutely. Lots of information coming in about what's happening right now. So we're looking very positive. We are staying as positive as we possibly can. DJ Cone 799 has come in with a $49.99 super chat that says, Godspeed to the SLS crew. Also, the view of the text in the tower reminds me of the test scene from the movie Contact. We do love a good sci-fi.
Okay.
Yes. One of the best sci-fi movies ever. Contact is, yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, one of my favorites personally because I live in New Mexico and it's always very exciting to see.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a perfect connection, Alice. Seriously, that's awesome. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, so I'm actually just down the road from the NASA White Sands test facility.
Okay, I think I get it now. Let's
All
continue.
of the missions for NASA since the Apollo era.
Okay, I should have not added that former there. I believe it would have been much easier if I didn't add it so I can have more access to the aft.
Mexico represented as part of this mission today, which is always very, very exciting. So thank you again to DJ for your super chat support. We always really appreciate it when it comes in from the team. Keep your questions.
Also, I believe this is my third time making the SLS here. My two previous ones were okay, I guess. Although I was not really satisfied. The first one had no color in it because it was way back then where I used to make them on 80-gram paper. Or the usual E4 printing paper. It was very flimsy and it was short-lived. I put it in a box with a lot of other paper molds, but now that box is missing for some reason.
Since Apollo 17, which was in 1972. Another little New Mexico quirk for that one. It had Harrison Schmitt on board, who was from southern New Mexico.
Listen, another ad. Just wait a sec. I'm sure that the glue won't dry immediately and pose problems. But once I'm done making the simple structure of the app, then I believe that I'll just continue on talking about the CAD model I made. I should probably make my CAD models in Fusion 316 though.
Yeah, so those are really updates.
That's my first time.
It's a little bit vague, but the acronyms there, no go, we are going to be launching in business units at the time of launch. However, it's 1.5 hours, not 2 hours.
Let's check the chat. There's no one else here. Yeah. Oh, the camera. The camera. Yes, forgot about that.
There are still explosive charges installed on the core stage and on the solid rocket boosters in the event that something were to go wrong with the vehicle. All systems will deploy the vehicle and normally trigger a flat termination system to terminate that rocket, go in that function to make sure that it doesn't fly into the area which is off route.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's a difficulty here. I should have cut the triangles on the. Oh.
Very important. Safety first. We are getting a few little things coming in on the chat about that update on the update again. So let's stay tuned right now. As you can see, it's coming out through. I'll still continue to work on closing that here. The rundown of what we're expecting at the moment. We are at T-minus 1 hour and 31 minutes. See, very good. You're right. Absolutely. Elmo. Till the launch window opens. You're correct. Thank you. Holding me to that one. We are expecting around this time to see the launch wheel system at closure right. And we're hoping
There we
that the team are working on right now to see from the different angles.
Here we are.
Obviously, you can see that there
Now let's continue here. Hopefully the glue didn't dry out on me. Okay. Slowly fixing the problem here. There we go. Yeah, gotta make sure that there's no tabs visible here. Oh. Yes, that's
I wonder if they've got a mind the gap sign as a brick,
Yeah, that's good. Now we can just fall solid. I believe that's the front here.
I'm getting that feeling from where I am that Max, you're the one that's on the ground. Surely you must be getting the real buzz right now.
Certainly.
I should probably increase it. Okay, I also think that that's a good view here. You guys think it's a good view? Okay, I don't know. Yeah, that's good enough. Oh, we're 1 minute and 29 seconds away from maybe the opening of the window? No, that's L minus. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the acronym is used for, like the opening of the window and the first attempted launch, like expected launch time. Hopefully there is one though. I hope they do solve that flight termination system problem. You don't want a huge vehicle to like uncontrollably fly into, like, harm people. So that's why you have a flight termination system. Yeah. Something like that. Although I hope that the vehicle does not experience any sort of anomaly during launch. Oh.
Still fingers crossed. We pushed all the way to April. We pushed all the way to April 1st. With the beautiful daylight between the first hour or so. We're here. This push is happening. I don't know. 8 p.m. or 7:45 p.m. or so. It's going to be a little bit hard for condition of the visual standpoint. But that is not a priority. But I will certainly work. Yeah, I will certainly get that back to you guys.
I wonder if the space priest is here in the NSF stream here. You know.
Absolutely. So I want to see minus, although they might see similar, they might see the same thing. They're very different. Well,
Oh,
some of them would like the same
I completely flunked the positioning here. It seems. Oh my god. That's okay. Okay, 1 hour and 26 minutes. Here we are with the app. Okay, now let's continue on with. Oh gosh, let me just stop doodling here. Okay. And that's the playlist. Oh, okay. Hopefully you can see this. Should probably delete that. Okay. Here's what I was talking about. Let me just put the app of the SLS away. But do you see this? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about here. It's a little project that it will never fly. Okay. I just want to iterate that. I just want to make sure that you know that it will never fly. Although I do have a lot of ideas for this project here. It's just going to aim to showcase all the sensors on the vehicle, which could enable autonomous flight. Yeah, let me just explain how the vehicle would probably work. The sensors here, I have a little membrane touch sensor. I'm still finding other sensors which could which could sense more than 20 newtons of force. I'm gonna of course be testing it by pressing like a little plate here. I'll explain what it is for. I didn't really copy it for the second wing here, but the next one here is a very interesting one. I have thought about editing it, but it's simply a digital compass attached onto like a wing, which not really fully attached with the airframe of the vehicle. It's more of like a separate structure, which would. Oh, let me just check if my mic is on. Okay. Oh wait. I don't think you heard me. My mic was far away. Oh, just come on. There's a lot of ads playing here, you know. Just put this mini player. Oh no, picture in picture.
We always say that
There you go.
It's a unique opportunity. We are going for all and buy all. This is what NASA embodies.
Okay, now
The space program.
let me explain this vehicle here.
And we're proud to be a part of that.
This is just touch memory sensors. Actually, this vehicle here will never fly. I would like to iterate that first. The vehicle here you're seeing here will just be a piece of decor on top of my bed. It will have functioning sensors, and it'll have all the hardware needed for autonomous flight. Although it will never fly. I would like to say that one more time. Yes. It will never fly. It's more of like gonna be decor. Again, I just said it. Yeah, but yeah, I would like to iterate that. So let me just explain the sensors that will be enabling autonomous flight. The first one here would be the touch sensor. This is a membrane touch sensor. It would be calculating from 0 to 20 newtons, although I'm finding other sensors which are cheap. I want to make sure that this drone is cheap. The next one here, actually these sensors, I would like to add one more thing, that these sensors are more used to measure like aerodynamic drag between both of the wings. I'll be explaining why so later. The next one I have is the I don't know what to name it, but I do like to call it the direction of movement sensor. It's just a digital compass attached to a little airfoil that is fully separate from the structure itself. The third sensor I would like to add is the GPS sensor. Actually, it's a GPS sensor. I'm still doing some research about it. I believe that the structure encasing the GPS would limit its ability, so I believe that I should probably be putting it on top of the vehicle. Although I'm still going to be testing, I'm going to be plotting out like the circuit of the vehicle itself. And the last one here would be a barometer, which will be measuring air pressure. It's going to be it will be mainly used for altitude measurements, because I don't want to rely on the GPS unit, because because jamming could occur. Electronic warfare could hinder the vehicle's guidance system. So I prefer to have a separate system, I prefer for the GPS to just frequently update the avionics unit. I plan for the latitude and longitude to help maybe calculate the heading of the vehicle. The latitude and longitude will be used for trigonometry that the avionics will calculate. The trigonometry will help calculate the heading of the vehicle. And what I mean by heading is the angle for just imagine here that we are given the latitude and longitude, and we can just calculate using trigonometry. I believe that we're gonna have to be using inputted value, maybe the target latitude and longitude, and we can probably compare it with our given the vehicle's latitude and longitude from the GPS. Although I would like the data to be stored in the Arduino CPU, so that even if the GPS gets jammed, we would still have the latitude and more of the heading, the supposed heading we're supposed to go to. And yeah, okay. I'm just thinking about how the CPU would actually calculate the latitude and longitude. Okay, I'm just gonna go to paint here. My dad also installed Counter-Strike. That's not me. Yeah. So I'm having a hard time explaining this, but oh wait, hold up. There we go. Let's imagine that this is us here. Okay, I need a bigger point here. Okay, that this is the drone's latitude and longitude, and this is the target latitude and longitude. We are given the x and y axis, maybe px and py. That's more of like variable here, and we are given tx and ty. It's a multiple here, and we would want to find the angle here. I'm trying to explain how I imagine the avionics unit to calculate where the heading should be. It's very hard to explain, that's why I'm using paint here now. This is where I will be placing a little dot here. The computer system could probably put px and ty. Simply we're putting the x coordinates of the drone and the y coordinates of the target, so we can have a right angle triangle. I'm imagining a formula like this. Yeah, I'm imagining something like this. I'm still thinking of how the drone would calculate the heading. I didn't really thoroughly think it out. I just more thought about the sensors that could be used, and trigonometry immediately came into my mind when thinking of the avionics unit. We can also do that inverted if we wanted, if we put tx and py, but I'm just mainly thinking about this part here. Yeah, I'm still thinking. Okay, maybe we could have this area as, we can just actually put any value here. Maybe I could multiply these two values and these two values here. Okay, hold on, I'm just thinking right now of how I should make the guidance, the avionics, of the drone itself. We could, in fact, maybe... wait, those are live shots of the crew in the vehicle. Holy. Okay, okay, how about this? We multiply these two values together to get a very big value, and these two together. It doesn't really matter for accuracy here. But I would like to say that maybe we could also rely on which value would be greater. I could also make maybe this. I am taking computer science. I didn't really learn C++ yet, but this is a pseudocode version. It's just for planning. It's not going to be the main code for it, but I believe we could have a maybe two if like commands. Maybe like I'm just starting out in coding. Don't judge me. Yeah. Maybe we could have two if commands. Maybe if px times py is greater than px. Okay, px times ty, or maybe we could, because I don't want there to be a negative variable here. I want there to be a positive one. But if we do multiply these two together, we would probably get a value. It doesn't really matter which one it is, as long as it... I don't know how to describe it, okay? Yes, but I do want a single variable. I don't want two values. And we could apply the same thing here. We can multiply these two together, and we could minus the greater one by the smaller one. So we can have two values, which would be representing two lengths here. But I do not care if they're not accurate or not. I just want the angle here. So we can apply simple trigonometry. We would obviously use tan to calculate the heading here. It's very obvious. So, let's name it. I'm also just starting. I recently turned 16. Yeah.
If you're tuning in right now, we are about an hour and 14 minutes away from the launch.
Okay, I'm just writing the tan formula here right now. I just want you to know how the avionics unit works here. It took some time to explain, but you do get gist of it, right? So simply the CPU will be storing this value. It will be storing it maybe for like maybe a given time frame, and it will be constantly updating it with new data from the GPS unit, maybe in like not in a constant but like dynamic interval. As we get closer to the target, the GPS would update more regularly to give more accurate data until we impact. I'm explaining the GPS right now. I'm not really explaining more of the barometer here. It will be another topic, but the GPS would not like we are going to be storing we're going to be like replacing those values, but there will be maybe a conditional statement, maybe like within that code. I'm not going to make the software for this vehicle though, because I'm worried about the legality of this. But let me just erase all of this. Maybe if the GPS, like maybe if the target no, more of like maybe of the I wanna know the speed of the drone. Maybe we could make a condition where if like the drone coordinate value changes maybe greater than 1, we are using a longitudinal and latitudinal formula. If it changes for both, either longitude or latitude, which would be impossible, maybe like judging by how fast the drone will be moving. Maybe it will be moving about 100 meters per second. If I were to use a motorcycle engine for the vehicle, then it would be impossible to achieve a value of 1 if we're talking about longitudinal and latitudinal values here. So theoretically, I'm still doing research on it. I'm definitely going to do more research on it so I can have more accurate values. But if the value in the next updated time interval would be greater than maybe a given value, maybe 1, then maybe GPS jamming was attempted. It could have been attempted. Maybe GPS jamming could have resulted in the change. So the drone will probably reject it, and instead it will continue flying on a straight heading, the current given heading. Also, we now have reached the time where I now explain the touch sensors here. They're simply put on plates here, so they could measure the aerodynamic drag on both wings to mitigate the amount of drift or error in just the it's more of like the z-axis of the vehicle. I kind of messed up the orientation of the vehicle. I'll update it once I do some more research on the compass sensor here. But I aim to reduce horizontal error when the GPS system is not being used. We would probably still have data for descent of the vehicle, because we could probably rely more on the altimeter or the barometer we have, and we can compare that with the inputted data from the user. The user will not have any like communication out of the drone. But what I'm trying to say here is that maybe, we would definitely have altitude data with, I would definitely want altitude data to be inputted. Let's say that the altitude given would definitely be 0. Although it could change judging by maybe height of the target. Maybe it's on a mountain or something, but let's just say it's 0, and we wanna impact, maybe, we are also given the airspeed. So let's say that this is our drone, and this is the target, and this is the ground. We're just judging on altitude, telemetry here, where there's other factors that could affect the drone, but we're now just going to be focusing on altitude. Let me just bump here. But we are given altitude maybe about 5 kilometers above the atmosphere, and we know our airspeed, maybe it's 100 meters per second, and we know the longitude and latitude of the vehicle along with the drone, I mean the target. I don't know how to convert the longitude and latitude like values to kilometers or meters, but let's imagine that we did convert it in the CPU and it gave us a result of 5 kilometers. So theoretically, in under 50 seconds the drone will reach its target, right? Now we're going to be using trigonometry again. So this is 5 kilometers. Our altitude is 5 kilometers. We can just use simple trigonometry to maybe calculate the drone's descent, although it will be much more complex. This is maybe this is the final descent phase, but let's think about another scenario. Maybe we're much farther away while the drone's in the coasting phase. I want the drone to... I could make a set... I do want there to be a setting where the drone descends. But let's say that we are maybe about 50 kilometers away, then 5 kilometers away. I do have some bad English, but I'm bad at communicating, yeah. Here's what we are gonna do. First, I want the drone to store since we know the latitude and longitude, let's guess that we know the latitude and longitude of the drone and the target. Then we could probably use that to calculate distance from kilometers. And let's imagine we did, and we now have a value of 50 kilometers. I mean, like 55 kilometers in total. So here's what the drone would probably do. I'm still researching on how I could make maybe a delay before descent. I'm still learning coding, you know. I would definitely learn it. But let's imagine I already know maybe like a delay command, maybe about, let's calculate here. So like it takes 10 seconds, 500 seconds to cover 50 kilometers theoretically. We need to have an updating speed, like updating speed, which weather could affect easily. We could have, maybe I could have I don't know. There's a lot of weird things happening right now, and I am currently trying to brainstorm a system, because like a redundant system where the drone would still rely on the GPS unit, but I don't want it to fully rely on the GPS unit, you know. I could use the 2 wingtip sensors here to calculate, theoretically calculate speed using force. And I don't know the formula for that. I am a physics student, but I didn't really learn that yet. But maybe we could use the force here along with air pressure to theoretically calculate our airspeed. Maybe we don't need the GPS unit. Hold up. Just real quick here, I'm just gonna be, yeah, it's real quick, yeah. I'm just gonna be searching. Okay, I'm trying to find a... Okay, I'm thinking of a formula we could use here. Okay, I didn't do much research. It's kind of hard to do research on it. I'm just gonna be thinking of one formula. We don't know we don't know the distance we are traveling. If the GPS system gets jammed, we definitely know speed. Time. Um, I'm thinking of a form. I don't really familiarize myself with. I don't. I didn't really. I don't know any like. Oh, hold up. Okay. I have. I'm just speechless right now. You know.
I'm a member of the mission management team, which is the team of John Hackett, who is leading the mission.
So, for the people that don't know, I think people are surprised sometimes that Europe
Um.
with this and the ESM in general. Can you talk about its significance during flight, and in particular Artemis 2 and getting it out there?
So the European Science Module is the powerhouse of Orion. We provide the main propulsion during all the orbital phase until re-entry. We provide the life support.
Just give me a sec.
Water, nitrogen, oxygen. We provide power with this very characteristic X-wing solar array wings, and we provide thermal controls for the mission as well. So for this specific
Okay, totally don't. I totally forgot. I didn't learn about like a formula that I could use to maybe calculate the speed of the drone.
and we deliver this maneuver which will last with a boost for the main peak of the European Science Module for about 5 minutes.
That's amazing. And also, this is the first time that Orion is actually flying with that ELIS, the life support system, on board. How have you been testing and preparing it, especially after what you've learned from Artemis 1?
On Artemis 1, we flew part of the environmental control life support. We flew some of the tanks, not the full set of tanks, but we flew gas tanks. They are not connected to the life support of the crew module. Here, the system is complete. All the tanks, all four oxygen and nitrogen tanks, and the four water tanks are installed.
It's nice to finally see all that flying out there. Obviously, this is going to be crucial as we get to further missions, longer duration.
I don't want to add another sensor in the vehicle. Although I could probably add a camera. I'm scared that it will cost a lot, and I don't want to do that much changes into the circuitry of the vehicle. We could utilize the wing tips of the vehicle, but I am very curious. I'm just very curious in how much of the total drag they are going to be calculating, because I want a accurate like value for speed of the vehicle. Otherwise, the vehicle would be definitely off course. I may be thinking of okay, look, this is just my second like project on electronics. I'm kind of having a hard time. If you do have any recommendations, you can comment them right now, but let me just check the comments right now actually. Okay, there's nothing going on. Okay, anyways, maybe just maybe we could, yeah, let's just use the wingtips. But I want a more accurate, like, I want a more feasible sensor we could use here for maybe airspeed. Okay, this is kind of hard right now. I don't want to add another sensor. I just want to reiterate it one more time. But, okay, I'm out of options here. This is very hard to think about right now. Okay, maybe we could rely on we could still rely on the GPS information. Let's just guess that. I'm gonna be definitely thinking of another way of doing this. But let's just guess that the GPS unit gave us 100 meters per second, like for airspeed. So now I'm just gonna be having to explain this. Maybe we could substitute this. We could substitute the GPS unit with maybe another sensor in the future. But for now, we're gonna have to rely on the GPS unit for this explanation here. But let's just guess that I have already inputted a variable about maybe 5 kilometers downrange. We have all the values needed for now a precise strike here. So here's how the altimeter will be used. The altimeter here could help us calculate maybe an angle of attack needed before descent, although we would probably need more of a curved angle of attack here. Yes, something like this, which would be hard. So we could just separate this into multiple sections, right? Because I don't want the vehicle to attempt to even do a direct nose dive maneuver, because I want the vehicle to accurately strike a target, and giving it a very hard turn, maybe about 45 degrees, would be very risky, because its distance from the target could be altered. It would be much safer to have maybe a systemical, more of a variable descent, So now let's continue here. I'm not really good at explaining things here, but let's imagine relative to our target that the avionics unit here we can say that it judging by its distance, maybe let's guess that here, when it reaches another time interval for the GPS unit to update its, or maybe another sensor to update readings, or maybe if it reaches a expected time interval here, maybe about here, maybe about 30 seconds away, when it has already traveled around 3 kilometers. That doesn't look like 3 kilometers. Let's just change that to 100 seconds, where it has traveled 10 kilometers. Maybe the longitudinal and latitudinal data from the avionics unit could... Oh, I lost track of what I was talking about. Sorry. Okay, let's say that we're now still discussing about how the avionics unit will utilize the barometer for descent data. Okay. Judging by air pressure, it could be used as an altimeter. Let's say that it has updated us about that we are 5 kilometers above the atmosphere. We're still maintaining that altitude. And now we have already traveled 10 kilometers downrange, and we are now 45 kilometers away from the target. I say that we could maybe do. I'm gonna have to do some research, but let's say our target is here, and I would have to like. Yeah, we could just like say that we could relate to our like speed here. We also have to keep in mind that the speed could change due to weather. So now, but for the sake of simplicity, let's just keep it at 100 meters per second. The vehicle will continue to travel to at 0.1 kilometers per second here. So, in approximately like 500 seconds later, the vehicle would have already reached its target. So, I say that like we separate this into 5 segments for more precise strikes. Maybe at the first interval we could make a variable here where the longitude and latitude of the target could be like increased by maybe about 1 to allow like some vertical error of more of like intentional vertical error of the vehicle. Then once the vehicle starts to come in closer, maybe about another 100 seconds later, where it's now like 35 kilometers away, we could do another update. It would really depend on the airspeed, right? I could maybe make make I don't know how to explain this. I could probably make a little code that bases airspeed and we can say that we could divide the okay, we could put a conditional command again where if our longitude and latitude relative to the target would be now maybe less than let's convert. Okay, let me just erase everything so I can plot out what I'm trying to say here. It's very hard to explain here, but let's say that there's a conditional command we have put. Maybe if I will also be converting the longitude and latitudinal information to maybe a metric unit, let's say kilometers. I'm just gonna be also making up variables here, but I'm trying to explain here what I'm trying to say, but I'm very bad at explaining. Okay, let's say that I'm thinking of a variable name. Okay, that's a multiple. Like I don't really have a. Okay, that's much better. Okay, it's better to say the x and y axis. This is a multiple. No, these two are just variables. This is the drone x-axis and the drone y-axis. Let's say if it's maybe lesser than. Let's assume that this is just in kilometers. I would be making a conditional statement, as I said. Okay. this is just pseudocode. Okay, this is just the design phase. This is just a design phase. I'm still like, it's probably gonna remain that way. I'm not gonna make software for the drone, for the literal like autonomous like operations of it. But I'm trying to explain how I could achieve the like autonomous like strikes. Maybe we could have a. These are kilometer. They. Let me see. Okay, probably. Okay. How do I edit this text here? Okay, this. I'm just gonna put a little kilometer sign here so you understand what value, what unit we are using here right now. We're not using longitudinal and latitudinal values here, or x or y values here. We're using metric values. Let's assume that we converted the longitudinal and latitudinal values to kilometers here. Then if it's lower than 50, then maybe we could this is just pseudocode, as I said. It's not really like proper language here. Then we could just say that I'm thinking of another variable we could add here. Okay, once we reach 30 minutes, I'm gonna stop my explanation here, but then, yeah. This is the y-axis angle, which will be relative to the drone's direction of movement. We could say that there's definitely gonna be like terrain that would go into that could compromise the drone's flight plan. So let's just say that, let's just put a preset value of about maybe 85 degrees. Yeah, obviously I'm probably gonna be calling for maybe there will probably be like another program setting that would be using these micro servos as elements to control the maybe the y-axis angle. Oh wait, sorry, this kind of wrong here. I should have put it here. Yes, but you do get the gist of it, right? It's very hard to explain here. I'm not really good at explaining stuff, as I said. Then maybe we could just put the drone y angle here as maybe equal to about 85 degrees. Then maybe at the final flight of the drone would have a proper angle of attack where it would be near it would be in such a way where like the angle of attack would be, the drone would have an easier time maneuvering into the target, where I put the value of its like y angle into I'm just trying to say here that the drone will have an easier time maybe maneuvering itself into the target once I set this value here equal to maybe a trigonomic result. I'm thinking of using trigonometry to calculate the angle of attack the drone should be at the final phase of its flight, but I do have some trouble thinking of its final phase of flight maneuvers it would perform. Oh wait, maybe we could maybe have a command here where it bases this descent based on time. Maybe we could maybe we could base, okay, let me just remove this, little command here. I need to give you a visual example of what I'm thinking right now. But now let's imagine that I'm just gonna put a little scribbly line here. Let's imagine that this is the drone and this is the target. Okay, instead of putting multiple base intervals here, what if we just put a, what if we, basing on the drone's meters per second speed, maybe about again 100 meters per second. It's gonna have to obviously update to give us more accurate values, but let's imagine that's 55 kilometers. I want the drone to maybe the drone could continuously update a angle of attack heading. Okay, this is very hard to explain, but maybe if we reach about, maybe, as I said already, a given inputted value. Okay, sorry for that soaring, but maybe if the drone reaches maybe a distance threshold, then we could start descent operations. I want it to be a curved descent. Yeah, I do want it to be a curved descent. In order to achieve this, we could have the angle of attack, maybe a variable angle of attack, slowly updating every single time we approach closer to the target. I would maybe have to base the distance telemetry by the speed of the drone. Although not be fully accurate, it would at least serve as a countermeasure in case of the GPS of the drone is jammed during final phase of flight. Well, we could what I'm trying to say here is that, let's imagine the drone is traveling about 90 degrees here, and once we reach a threshold here, the drone, judging by speed, for example, maybe every 5 seconds, when it really depends on its speed, because rather than updating by the given, maybe by time, we would rather be wanting to update by distance traveled. So let's say that we want to update every 500 meters. So given the value here, the CPU could use a formula, maybe yeah, we could just say that 500 divided by 100, it'll give us 5 seconds. You know the formula, it's very simple. But every 5 seconds we want, okay, let me just, okay, it'll just give us 5 seconds. Okay, every 5 seconds it would update, but the value here would definitely change, which is why which is why this system here would be kind of accurate. But every 5 seconds the drone would probably decrease its angle of attack until it reaches its target, right? I don't want it to directly change its angle of attack, so I'm thinking of, this is why I put this is why I'm gonna preset a value here. Maybe we could decrease it every maybe every 500 meters it could decrease its angle of attack by 0.5, right? So maybe we could add another threshold, maybe about 20 kilometers away from, let's say that we have reached our threshold 1, where the drone updates values purely based on only altitude telemetry, it would definitely try to use GPS data. I could use GPS. I could use wavelength filters to help ensure that the drone has an accurate reading on latitude and longitudinal distance, right? Because the drone would mainly want to use longitudinal and latitudinal information for plotting out its distance from the target. But I'm assuming that this is the worst of worst scenarios where the GPS is no longer usable, right? So let's say that we reached our first threshold of this contingency measure, and now we are 20 kilometers away from target. The drone will now be switching into a phase of flight where the drone will now be using, it will finally be using trigonometry for calculating where the drone should be heading, right? Let's assume that the drone, I don't want to calculate what angle of attack the drone is right now, but maybe 20 kilometers. No, it's more safer to do maybe about, I'm thinking of 7 kilometers. But now we're gonna have the drone having its angle of attack now facing towards the target, right? We know we should know the altitude because of the barometer present on the vehicle. Let's assume that it's probably no, we have descended, right? So now let's assume that it's now 3 kilometers above the atmosphere, and now the okay, and now the drone has 7 and now the drone has calculated that it has already traveled around I say about 40 sorry, I'm a bit tired. It is 1 in the morning, but it's about to become 2. But you get the gist of it, right? I'm trying. .46. It has already traveled for about 46 kilometers. I did say that it would base its. Oh, it will purely base it on maybe a ambiguous sensor giving speed telemetry. Of course, the drone might have drifted off course a bit, but it would still probably be close to the target anyways. Now let's just talk about the final 7 kilometers of its journey. Yes, it's just gonna be simple trigonometry. Yeah, it's gonna be calculating the angle of attack based on trigonometry, and I'm probably gonna have the angle of attack value being update. I'll probably have it update every I'm thinking 3 seconds or 2 seconds, every 2 seconds until the drone finally impacts its target. Again, I'm not an engineer. I'm young, yeah. This is just my second electronic project. But you do get the gist of it, right? I didn't do much research on the guidance unit. I just started out like researching it, but yeah, I just got a bit too excited. Okay, we are now approaching closer to a launch date. Just hold up real quick. Okay guys, I'm back 34 minutes before launch. We're 34 minutes away from launch. Just gonna check my next spaceflight app to see if the launch date got pushed by a bit. No, it didn't. I want to see if that like flight termination system like issue was resolved. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna be launching today actually. I do want to continue talking about the drone. Okay, let's just yeah, let's put it back in picture. Like, we will look at the vehicle in T-minus 20 minutes. Launch L-minus 20 minutes. I believe that L-minus is more of the like expected launch date, and T-minus is more of like the opening window, you know. But anyways, let's go back to the drone here. The like sensor system on the vehicle is still experimental. I do have a lot of things to improve on it. I do need to write how every single system would work in the vehicle itself, so I would remember how it works. It's kind of hard to keep like track on how everything here works, you know. Yeah. I do also have real life hardware in it. So far I have completed already this section here. I have also included cladding, but I didn't really add the wings here. They're the biggest part here. Sorry, I'm kind of... But... Okay, I'm having a very difficult time speaking right now. I can't really speak well. But, I'm still ironing out some subsystems on the vehicle itself, including the guidance unit. I never really planned out the actual guidance unit on the vehicle, but I do have an idea of how I hope for it to work. Suffice to say, it would mainly rely on trigonometry. It did take a very long time for me to explain how I hoped for the vehicle to work. Okay, huh.
There are super chats coming in. There are people joining the membership program. There are people doing tips and tips.com. The merch is almost sold out. I'm gonna have to check in with the shop team to see if there are pins left. But you don't have to do any of that stuff.
Okay, I'm still having a difficulty trying to think of how the AVMX unit should work. But I did say that okay, let's should I explain how the... Okay, there's another audio. Okay, so... Okay, I should do a huge rework on the final guidance of the vehicle. I mean, the final guidance phase of the vehicle. You know, yeah. So, I want to talk about the guidance system one more time. I have a separate screen here showing like the Artemis 2 launch stream here from NASA spaceflight. I'm watching the one from NASA spaceflight here. We'll be moving on to launch in approximately 20 minutes. But here is my final thoughts on the final guidance of the vehicle using fully based on the what do you call this? The barometer on the vehicle. Oh, where's the chat? Okay, I didn't really add the chat here, but I will check the chat in my stream now. Okay, there's okay. Okay, okay, we're gonna base for the we're gonna be now talking about the final phase of flight of the vehicle during descent using the barometer here. Okay, this is gonna be a final rant. Not really a rant, it's more of like yapping, yeah. Let's say this is the vehicle and this is the target. We are, again, 50 kilometers away. I'm trying to think of the best way, a best approach for the vehicle's final guidance, like, final guidance system on the, I'm trying to think of the best way to, like, impact the target without the GPS unit. But it looks like I might have to use a GPS unit target, like the GPS sensor on the vehicle. Although I would like to grow independent from it. Maybe let's say we lost the GPS unit 50 kilometers away from the target, the final phase of flight here. Again, I said I wanted a curved flight plan here, and or maybe, okay, actually, never mind. I think it's better to maybe have the vehicle perform a lower coasting phase here before it finally attempts a what do you call this? Before it does attempt a final strike where the vehicle would pitch down immediately. Okay, this is the simple system of it. First, simple explanation of it, where I'm going to be sectioning it into multiple sections. Maybe I could separate this final part as maneuver where like the drone would maybe base its supposed angle of attack fully based on its barometer, like altitude data given, and also along with the known airspeed. The airspeed will be used for the distance from the target. Let's say that this final phase of flight would happen 10 kilometers away from the target. These two values are separate. Okay, now I have a good idea of how the the final guidance on the vehicle should work. So let's say that once you reach maybe a $10-kilometer threshold, in total this should be 60 kilometers. Once the vehicle has calculated that it has approached a 60-kilometer threshold, the vehicle would grow independent from, would probably, like, no, I would definitely, like, maybe do a separate lecture about the different approach the vehicle would do if the GPS unit was still online. But let's assume that it was knocked out by jamming. If the X and Y longitudinal axes of the vehicle are above a certain value and are now considered obsolete, we're gonna go for this approach. Okay, first the vehicle would probably descend about would probably descend to maybe from safe coast of 10 kilometers to about, let's say, about 3 kilometers. The reason I chose a coast of 10 kilometers is because it helped me probably a lot, like, avoid geographic like obstacles, maybe like mountains. But I could no, the barometer doesn't probably like it probably has the inability to calculate air pressure even with mountains, because it could still hit a mountain because the air pressure would not change even if there's a mountain in front of it, because but maybe if you think about it, if there were to be a mountain in front of it, then like air could accumulate maybe in one surface of it, but at the same time it really depends on maybe wind direction. No, it more I believe that air pressure could still accumulate around the mountain, giving reliable, definitely reliable altitude air pressure data. But at the same time, it's not really gonna help a lot, because the higher up you're in a mountain, there will still be less air pressure. So I should still probably keep that 10 kilometer coast phase. But once it reaches about like 60 kilometers from like close away from its target, it could probably base it on GPS or airspeed data. But we would definitely still need GPS data at the start. But we're just assuming that we lost the GPS in the final phase of flight. So once it reaches that threshold, we would probably descend up to 3 kilometers for better control authority for the vehicle. And it will continue to travel about 40 kilometers downrange. It would ensure that it knew it already traveled this distance based on a separate sensor. I'm still thinking of what type of sensor I should get. Maybe I could derive it from these two wingtip sensors, although I got to do more research on how I could do so. Otherwise, I might have to add a wholly separate sensor for it, for calculating airspeed. There are a lot of applications, but for now it's going to be ambiguous. So let's say that the drone had a variable speed from about 100 to 90 meters per second, and once the vehicle has assured that it has traveled this distance, then I say that now the drone would base its final angle of attack, where the drone would probably be the drone would assume that once the drone has deduced that it is probably 10 kilometers away from the target, it would probably do a final performative it will probably do a final angle of attack adjustment, where the drone would base its angle of attack by trigonometry, where we could probably use only airspeed. We could use airspeed and timed refresh intervals to probably calculate and update its angle of attack. We could use trigonometry. We already know it. We're 3 kilometers up. Once we start descending, these two values would keep on updating. It really depends on how fast I want the avionics unit to calculate and store new values of angle of attack. But what I'm trying to say here is that I want the vehicle to ensure that it updates its angle of attack until it impacts the target 10 kilometers in the 10 kilometer region here. Okay, we're now 20 meters away, 20 minutes away from launch. So I should probably focus on the vehicle now. Okay. I should probably unmute this.
Both clocks will be synced, basically synchronized, and the T clock will resume counting, and they'll call out GLS go for terminal count. You will hear GLS all the time during that terminal count.
Okay, this is
This is
very exciting right now.
Going to be calling out. That is the ground launch sequencer. That is the ground computers that are sort of sequencing basically the whole and choreographing that whole 10-minute, mostly 10-minute countdown for the GLS for the ground launch sequencer. And so crew access arm will retract about 8 minutes before launch. Then at 6 minutes, we're going to have three events basically at the same time. The GLS, the ground launch sequencer, will give the go for core stage tank pressurization. We'll get the Orion ascent pyros,
Okay.
pyrotechnics, and everything armed. Oh,
And let's see, GLS, can you help us with that, please?
hey, see? Just said
Okay.
GLS.
Okay, we're getting closer to launch
So yeah,
now.
6 minutes.
Gen 001.
There we go. They're still talking. I don't know when to go. 6 minutes. Tank pressurization for the core stage. Orion ascent pyros. Orion set to
okay.
internal power. Just right after that, the liquid
to
hydrogen replenishment will end on the core stage. The launch abort system will become available at T-minus 5 minutes and 20 seconds. At T-minus 4 minutes 40 seconds, the high flow bleed check will also be activated for the hydrogen side of the engines. And then we're going to get the go for core stage APU start. That's the auxiliary power unit.
Okay,
and
this is
after that, that'll be at
this is
T-minus
crazy.
4 minutes.
It's
by the
actually
way.
okay. The
And
vehicle's
after that, we will probably
expected
see,
to launch now.
hopefully if we get those views.
We're
the
now
engines,
17 minutes away from
doing a
launch.
Gimbal check, as it's called, and so they'll be
Okay.
moving in a pre-planned pattern to make sure that all of the moving systems, all of the gimbal works on those engines. Then they'll terminate replenishment on the ICPS. The upper stage production replenishment will end at T-minus 3.5 minutes. T-minus 3 minutes 10 seconds. GLS will be go for purge sequence 4. That is when they switch to helium purge on the high pressure oxidizer turbo pump seal. And I believe now Daryl is giving an update, if I'm not mistaken.
So there are
Standing
two
by.
batteries on the LAS. The LAS, of course, and with the help of my 2-year-old son's model rocket, Daniel said I could use this, so it's okay. The LAS is right here. It's the tower above Orion. Orion capsule's inside of here. It's used to pull Orion off the rocket in case the rocket is something's going on with the rocket, either on the pad or in flight. 2 batteries are bad. Well, I'm sorry. One of the 2 batteries reported an out-of-family temperature, and it was very much out of family. And so they checked their data going back into the vehicle assembly building where they recharged the batteries and worked on them. And they have good, solid data, they reported, that tells them that this is an instrumentation failure, that there's something wrong with the sensor. And so they took it before the mission management team, which has to accept the risk, any changes to launch commit criteria, which this would be one, and they all fully accepted it. So now we are clear.
We are
as
15
far
minutes
as
away
that
from launch.
constraint is concerned. And one quick thing as we count down now, we are getting into the final minutes before liftoff. There's a 2-hour window. We haven't quite set the T0 yet, but this is a list of the cutouts. There are 150 cutouts that are included for this 2-hour launch window. And that's important. They're in very small print. That's important because there's basically 16 minutes inside this window that they cannot launch. And these are because of small things flying in orbit. There's a lot more things in orbit than there were back in Artemis 1 when we had 35 to 40 cutouts. For that reason, because of these 156 cutouts, they're going to be managing the launch window as we go forward. So they may have to wait out one of these cutouts. They range in time between 2 seconds to 23 seconds, but you'll hear the NASA test director talk through that. We're getting ready to merge that loop from NASA test director Jeff Spaulding.
I think here, Daryl's talking about cutouts, but we really need to explain what that means, right? All the satellites in space. You've heard lots of Starlinks are up there. You've heard all these communication satellites, weather satellites, all sorts of stuff. There's debris as well. We should talk about the debris. When he's talking about the cutouts, he's talking about literally holes in space that they can launch through. And so it's not just, we have the entire 2-hour window, we can go whenever. They have to shoot for a hole. You can't launch if there's a Starlink satellite flying right where you're going to be flying. If there's a piece of debris that's been tracked since the 60s because it's a Soviet stage that is up there from being put something in orbit, they have to look for all of these. They call it COLA, right? The collision
I think
loss
the
avoidance
LAS is not really a
is what
problem
I've
right
always
now.
heard. But it's shooting for holes in space, trying to find a hole that you can launch through, because just because you have a 2-hour window does not mean that the skies are clear that entire 2 hours. So that is what Daryl was just talking about. They have not quite set the T0 yet, which sounds like they may be hunting for a T0 a little bit into the window. That's not a bad thing, but also giving us that update on the battery temperatures. Let's talk about that for just a second. On the rocket, thousands and thousands of sensors. So we have so many different things reading battery temperatures, pressures, levels, forces, all these different things. And the computers are sitting there watching all of those sensors. But sometimes a sensor can go bad, right? In some cases, you may have 3 sensors that are all measuring the same thing, or you may have 3 sensors that are measuring similar things at slightly different points in the tank or the rocket or whatever. And it is possible, if you get a bad result from one of those sensors. Stand by, we may have a poll here.
Yes, sir. Reconfigure primary loop ISO valves.
Copy, that's in work.
And CDR, OTC, you're on Earth 1.
Go.
ARS loop ISO valves are being closed at this time.
Integrity copies.
NGDLP.
Go.
Yes, I had a discussion with Sea Ice and with MER Manager regarding the observation the Sea Ice had a few minutes ago. They were able to confirm with BCI photos that the condition that they observed has been there since 2025. MER Manager has had a chance to review the findings, and they do not have any constraints from either a Sea Ice or MER Manager perspective.
Okay. Copy all. And Launch Director, NTD, you copy?
Yes, sir. I copy. That's good news.
OTC.
OTC.
ARS primary loop isolation valve configuration is complete.
Copy.
And CGLS, NTD, cancel pending, please.
CLS copies, and that's complete.
All right, and for all personnel, we got a little bit more work to do before we pick up the clock, and we're about a little over a minute from getting to T-minus 10 minutes, but we've canceled the resume time there, and then we'll pick it up after we get through all of our work and anything else that we need to do to get through the remainder of counts. So we'll continue working that to get to our T0 today. So when we get to about 50 seconds from now, we'll extend that hold.
CVSE OTC.
CVSE.
400, 290, looking to verify that we are configured for ascent.
Yep, give me about 2 more minutes. I'm going to start CMA2 streaming.
Copy.
NTD, COSE, hold requested.
Copy that.
I have an LCC violation of O-CT-004, S-band transponder anomaly. This was a transient LCC violation, so transponder 1 had a demodulated SNR estimate that went down to 2 dBm. When it should have been between 10 and 13, it is now back up to 12, but we did lose that for just a moment. It does not appear that we lost our bit sync or carrier lock, which would be indicative that we lost our lock with the vehicle. So at this point, recommendation would still be go. However, we do have a pre-planned contingency procedure if we want to look at that. But again, this is transient, so we're back in a nominal range.
All right, let's see, LPE, NTD.
Yeah, we're not seeing that hit. So I guess question for COSE, was that less than 3 samples? Is that below our persistence?
Stand by, let me look. It did look like it did persist for several seconds on mine, but let me take a look at the number of samples.
Could I get a repeat on the affected LCC, please?
Yes, ma'am. That's going to be O-CT-004.
Thank you.
Okay, they're holding.
I'll see if we can hop in real quick. I don't know if they'll keep talking there, but let's translate some of what you just heard. You can see the clock is T minus 10 minutes, actually T and L minus 10 minutes there, but you heard that they had a little bit more work to do and they were going to cancel that resume. What they were talking about there was exactly what we see on the screen now. The clock has sort of
taking a look
stopped.
at the data right here. Looks like that was a single sample.
Yeah, copy that. RFTS does report that they also lost lock for about 5 seconds. So I would love to ask KUS and see if they also lost lock with the vehicle for any extended amount of period.
I think they're having a problem with telemetry of the liquid oxygen tank.
And COSE, while we're doing that, these are 1/10 hertz measurements, correct? So we would have had to lose it for over 10 seconds to get a second sample?
Yes, sir, that's correct. It is 1/10 hertz.
Yeah, so from our perspective, the allowance is effectively up to 30 seconds, up to 3 samples based on the 1/10 hertz. This is not an LCC violation, I believe.
Yes, sir, I would agree with that at this point. Copy that.
We're checking with KUS on 232. I don't think they have 212 access. We're trying to verify, but it sounds like they have a loss of lock as well. About 2 seconds.
Okay. And I guess for both KUS and COSE, do we have lock now?
That's affirmed. We do have lock for COSE.
Hi guys, I'm back. So I heard sample rate. I think that has something to do with maybe a sensor in the LOX.
They're talking about
Yeah,
a
so from the
brief
integration
data dropout.
perspective, we
yeah.
did have a temporary loss there within the allowable, and per the requirement, let's go.
And this is Houston Flight. We have lock and we have good telemetry here in GSC.
Okay. So I think that they have problems with like maybe.
So with all of that, OSC, then are we in a go configuration per your LCC?
Yes, sir. Recommendation would be go.
Okay. LP, you concur with that?
Yes, sir. LP concurs go.
And launch director?
Yes, sir. Launch director concurs go.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just verify everybody has everything else complete, launch director, and if we do, we'll be ready to pick up the poll at that time, unless there's something else that you're aware of.
No, sir. Let's verify all our work is complete, and I would like one last check of our constraints list.
All right, let's see. OTC, are you still waiting for ComConfig, or are you complete?
That is
with
affirmed,
everything?
sir.
Okay, is that your only open item?
Yeah, OTC, this is CVSC. That 400 step 290 is complete.
Copy. Okay, so OTC, you're complete with all of your work?
That's affirmed.
All right, copy that. STC?
STC is complete.
And GTC?
GTC is complete.
Okay, excellent. All right, and LPE, just want to verify we have no open constraints at this time.
No open constraints. We have a clear board, sir.
Okay, tracking the same here. And launch director, with that, we are clear and
I'm just gonna get water real quick.
Readiness poll with your go.
All right, sir. I am go for the poll.
All right. And for all personnel, this is the NTD conducting the Artemis II launch readiness check. Verify ready to resume count and go for launch. OTC.
GTC is go.
STC.
STC is go.
GTC.
C's go.
MCO.
CO's go.
Safety console.
The safety console is go.
LPE.
LPE's go.
RTD.
RTD's go.
Houston Flight.
Houston Flight is go.
ROC.
ROC is go.
And CDR.
Cruise go.
Copy that. Thank you, Reed. And Launch Director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
All right, NTD, I copy all. At this time, I'll perform my poll. Attention on the net. This is the launch director performing the final poll for launch. Verify no constraints and go for launch.
Oh my God.
EGS, Program Chief Engineer.
Artemis Chief Engineers are go.
Copy, thank you. EGS, Chief Safety Officer.
The Artemis CSOs are go.
Copy, thank you. Range weather.
Launch weather is go.
Okay.
Thank you, LWO. And Artemis, MMT chair.
MMTs go.
Thank you, John. And Integrity launch director.
Good to hear your voice, Charlie. PLT.
Thank you, Charlie. This is Victor. We are going for our families.
MS1.
This is Christina. We are going for our teammates.
Oh my gosh.
MS2. This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity. All right, Charlie, your Artemis 2 crew is go for launch. Full send.
I copy that. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy. On this historic mission, you take with you the heart of this Artemis team, the daring spirit of the American people and our partners across the globe, and the hopes and dreams of a new generation. Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis 2. Let's go.
Holy.
And into the launch director.
Okay.
Go ahead, launch director.
Yes, sir. You have a go to proceed with countdown.
Copy that. I'll put it in work. CDR NTD.
Go.
Gear risers and initiate short purge per your EPROC 10.1.1, steps 8 and 9.
10.1.1, 8 and 9 going to work.
Copy. CVSE NTD. Start and verify recordings of our Orion cameras.
Copy and work.
Thank you. RSR NTD.
RSR.
All right, perform the booster ignition SNA arm rotation. Enable at this time, please.
RSR in work. Booster ignition SNA arm rotation enable complete.
Copy that. Thank you.
Integrity crew, close and lock visors.
I don't even want to talk. That's exactly what you wanted to hear right there. We're going to get that clock coming back. It should begin to count, but across the board, you heard the launch director and the rest of the teams of folks that are managing these preparations say that they are go. So what's happening now is they were finalizing that checklist. We're going to get that exact T0. We're going to have that come up here on the countdown. But when it does, we should expect to be minutes away from the launch of Artemis 2. If you're just joining us, it's a big orange rocket. Why is this
and
so
ECL
important?
NTD will be waiting for your verification on the short purge.
ECL copies.
And for all personnel, once we get that short purge verification, we'll verify that we are clear to go, and then we'll proceed with the terminal count.
Holy. Okay, I think that, talk about the sensor was just
Waiting for that terminal count. Why is it so important? Because in the white part of the rocket, the cone part up there at the top, there are 4 human beings. And they are going not just into low Earth orbit. If everything goes to plan, they will be on their way around the moon.
About a minute.
Copy.
Okay. Okay, I'm just waiting. I hope that, the L-, would not be that.
I have to say,
far.
hearing the words from the crew there in the go, no go poll, that flicked something in my brain, and my heart is absolutely...
Okay, I just need to make sure that this is live.
Especially when...
Oh, God. Sorry, it's...
Outstanding. Sawyer, are you going to...
count? Yes, I will. Report back shortly after launch to provide the atmosphere here, the vibe, and the feeling. But right now, people...
I just
moment
need to
here.
click
So
on it, never mind.
this is a wild environment. The energy here is electric, and hopefully the same wherever everybody else in the world is watching.
Short purge initiations verified.
All right, copy that, and we're verifying our constraints.
Okay, hopefully the SLS
On our
goes
end, the
off.
voice of Sawyer Rosenstein there at the press site, just over, what are we, 2.5 miles away from the launch pad, Sawyer?
All right,
Yeah, a
and
little
we're
over
clear
2
from
miles.
cutout. And with that, we're going to resume.
Here we go.
We're going to resume the clock on your mark.
Okay,
GLS copies. 3, 2, 1, mark. GLS mainline has been initiated.
T-minus 10 minutes and counting.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're off.
Minus 10 minutes of counting.
Okay, I can't check
We're
the
going to
comments
reset our
right
clock
now.
so that it matches,
Just
folks.
keep
It's going
that
to
in
take us
mind.
just a second. But there is the American
Okay, my internet
flag and the Artemis flag.
Screw this.
Go ahead.
It's like only 10 minutes into the window. Of the 2-hour window, they may only use like the first 10.
We'll take it.
Oh, come on.
6:35 p.m.
Just a couple things.
Okay. Okay, I'm having some internet
Okay,
problems
well,
here.
I guess we should be talking about what we're gonna see, right? Because we are
Okay,
well
this is
ready
good
now
now.
to crew access arm retraction.
Sawyer Rosenstein, the voice you heard checking in from the press site
And
was
Houston
Sawyer.
flight
Sawyer's
and
gonna
rock. Our
up
new
off.
T0 is 22:35:12.
Houston flight guy.
there we
Copies. 22:35:12.
There you
2
go, Alex.
seconds.
22:35:12. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're
Now under 9
left.
minutes. You doing
Oh
okay,
my God.
Alex?
Oh my god, that's not...
I am. I don't know. I'm crying a little bit here because it's quite a really high heart rate moment, I guess. But yeah, we're getting ready. 8.5 minutes to go. Should be keeping an eye on that crew access on retraction in less than half a minute.
Okay, I do have some issues here.
How you doing? How you doing?
I am
Okay,
so long for this moment,
Okay,
and it is 8
lower to maybe 720 is better.
8 minutes.
At the end is where we saw them boarding the rocket, and now that arm, the entire room, it's like a building on a stick, is getting out of the way so
Okay.
the rocket can lift off.
Okay, I think this is good enough now.
Crew are all buttoned up in the top of the rocket. We saw all those hatches get closed, suit leak checks performed, everything closed out as 4 human beings are standing by ready to ride this rocket. Coming up on 7 minutes now.
Up next at 6 minutes, core stage tank pressurization will be initiated. Orion will go into internal power, and the ascent pyrotechnics will be armed.
Won't be much
Very shortly.
visual there, right? We're not going to see anything
Yeah.
like the crew arm retracting like we did.
We may see, though,
Okay, I should
since you
probably
said
lower my quality
visually,
here.
that vent at the top of SLS core stage might actually disappear as we go further into the terminal count.
Okay, I'm trying to like troubleshoot something
Further
here.
into the terminal count, because that is venting out pressure, right? And they're
Okay,
now
I recommend that you watch
they're getting ready to
official
track.
coverage if you want a better experience, because I'm currently facing some issues here. Come on. Okay, I'm just gonna try to find something a bit better here. Okay. Okay, I'm
The hardest
terribly
thing
sorry.
is to get started. You have to get it on paper.
System arming will happen at T-minus 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay.
Core
That's
stage
much,
auxiliary
okay, that
power
one
unit.
is much better. Okay, let's continue with this one here. Okay.
Replenish
Okay.
valve. It's now closed for the core stage liquid hydrogen tank. Under 5 minutes now.
This is absolutely
or under
insane.
6
Okay.
minutes. Launch abort system capability will be active for the crew in about 10 seconds.
GLS verifies last capability available.
And CDRD copy.
CDR copies, last available.
That escape capability now available to the crew if necessary. Confirmed by Commander Reed Weissman as we are now 5 minutes and
GLS
counting.
is go for FTS on.
Okay. Okay, there are 4 humans on this vehicle, okay?
GLS is go for LH2 high.
I don't know what else to say. I'm just gonna stay quiet until launch. Okay.
GLS is go for core stage.
4 minutes and counting.
GLS is go for core stage APU start.
This is the auxiliary power unit on the core stage.
Okay, I'll be switching up to the television I have here. Okay, my reaction will be on
Just
the
about
NASA
3.5
spaceflight
minutes remaining on the clock
stream.
now. The interim cryogenic propulsion stage.
It's going to be synchronized with the stream
Popping.
here. Yeah.
Should terminate here.
See it.
Coming up to the final 3 minutes of the count. When we hit about 2 minutes and 2 seconds, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage will switch to its internal battery power. That'll be followed seconds later by
GLS is go for purge sequence 4.
the core stage switching to internal power as well. First, the solids at 2 minutes, the core stage at T-minus 1 minute and 30
Okay, I
seconds.
haven't really familiarized myself with the subsystems of the vehicle. However, I
We're less
believe
than
that
3 minutes to the planned liftoff of
what they
Artemis
mean by
2.
purging, I believe it's just
Continuing on with the terminal
like
count
maybe
to a liftoff scheduled for
it could either-
6:35 and
yeah, it
12
could-
seconds
yeah,
Eastern time.
Engine purging. It could just be like related to like the maybe the regenerative cooling the RH-25 engines, how they would usually need purging or venting. Yeah, I just wanted like to note that out. Okay, I'm now just gonna remove my headset. I'm gonna be switching to my television here. This footage here.
Should see a
is-
gimbal there of those
that's-
engines. You
I
see
think
that
that's
in
purging
motion.
there, and that's gimbal test. Okay. Okay.
Good testing of those RS-25
Okay,
engines now approaching the final 2 minutes in flight. As a reminder, those RS-25s
okay, I'm
will
just gonna
ignite as planned at T-minus 6 seconds.
T-minus L-minus 2 minutes.
6.36 seconds before liftoff is when those engines will come alive. We're less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
In this, the final minute and a half, the core stage will switch to internal power as well. The upper stage will
GLS is go for core stage to internal power.
Good call out there. Should hear a call for the upper stage entering terminal countdown mode.
We should see
Coming up
that
on the final minute of the
hydrogen burn-off igniters start at T-minus 12. I would hope to see that. Hopefully don't go into
1 minute
a
and
hold.
counting.
Holy shit,
Cheers
okay.
across the press line here at the Kennedy Space Center.
Okay. There are 4 humans on this vehicle. I would just like to say that again one more time before
minus 40 seconds.
launch.
GLS, go very left.
GLS, go very left.
30 seconds and counting.
The vehicle is now in control of the countdown pad.
25.
The hydrogen burn-off igniters will kick on at T minus 12 seconds.
Expect the hydrogen burn-offs to ignite momentarily.
15.
Hydrogen burn-off igniters. I think that's hydrogen burn-off. Those are hydrogen burn-off igniters. Okay, T minus 6 seconds should be Rainbirds and also RS-25 ignition. RS-25 ignition. Okay. Okay. There we go. SRB. Lift off. Oh my God.
And lift
Yes!
off of
Okay.
the Artemis 2 mission. The first crewed.
Yes. Okay. Okay. The SLS is now off the ground. Okay. We should see roll program.
Taken off from Florida.
Okay. All RS-25 engines look healthy. Both SRBs look normal. There's no nozzle burn off. There's no like. Oh. Okay. Everything looks good here. Okay. I think that's pitch program. Okay. That's pitch pro. Okay. No, that's still roll program. Okay. 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 The vehicle's now off into the air. Oh my God! Holy shit! Oh my God! Look at that. Yeah, everything looks good here. T plus 50 seconds. Everything looks good here. I'm looking at good things here. I don't look at it. Nothing looks good. Bad here. I don't know what to say.
Now about 1 minute in flight, the SLS rocket traveling faster than the speed of sound. Engine's about to throttle back as it approaches max.
Okay, both SRBs look normal. There's no huge plume. If there were to be, then that would be bad. But everything looks good here. I don't know if all 4 RS-25 engines are online, but I hope they are. Everything looks good here.
To 109% thrust capacity. Now about a little more than a minute and a half into flight. Coming up next.
Let's see SRB burn
separation
out.
of the 2 5-segment solid rocket boosters. A little more than 2 minutes into the mission.
Okay.
20 seconds away from SRB burnout and jettison. Gorgeous ascent down range from the tracking cameras.
That roll maneuver we saw earlier, intentional to put the crew in the right orientation as the rocket continues to climb uphill.
Come on. Okay. Okay, that looks like SRB set. That looks like SRB set. I see.
And a good separation of those.
Yes. Yes. Okay. The next thing we should see is LAS SEP.
80% of the thruster liftoff. Those boosters.
5 solid rocket boosters, chock full of
Okay.
shuttle
We
heritage.
should see LAS SEP next, and that should follow by the fairing SEP of the I forgot the name of the service module. Yeah, the service module for Range fairing SEP.
75% of the initial thrust was those engines.
Holy.
Next up, we will have the launch abort
Now approaching T plus 3 minutes into the flight. Coming up next will be the jettison of the launch abort system. At that point in the mission, it will no longer be needed.
Make way for the rest
Now more than 3 minutes into this flight of the Artemis 2 crew.
Hopefully
on
you see.
board their
Okay.
Space Launch System rocket.
Looking at that view here. Look. Okay. That's like. Okay. Fairing SEP.
There goes
Fairing SEP. That looks almost.
the launch abort system.
That's the LAS. That's the LAS.
Oh my goodness. Now the crew has a clear view out of the windows of Earth.
Orion Integrity now no longer having the launch abort system.
Okay, hopefully 8 minutes later we should see core stage SEP. Hopefully we see more onboard footage of the vehicle itself.
And with that protection covering now gone.
Oh.
At the Carmen line.
Windows are open as you just heard.
Okay,
reaching the Carmen line.
Okay, everything else should be like
First
smooth
space flight
sailing.
for Jeremy Hansen, the second
as I said,
for
maybe
Reed
T
Weissman,
plus
Victor Glover, and
L
Christina
plus 8
Now, a little more
second,
than 4
8 minutes into flight, we
flight,
should
the
see
next big
core stage
milestone is
shut
coming
down.
up.
then
about
separation
4 minutes
followed
time,
by
we're watching
maybe,
for the core
followed
stage
by,
main engine cutoff. This will be
ICPS
MECO, where the
ignition
4
maybe a few minutes
RS-25
later.
engines will power down. That'll be followed a little more than 10 seconds later by the separation of the core stage and the ICPS, the rocket's upper
Also,
stage,
if one of the
which will be
RS-25
powered by
engines went
the
out right now, I
RL-10
think the
engine
thrust-to-weight
from
ratio
Elton
is in a safe
Paris.
margin where the vehicle could still reach orbit. I would just like to add that.
Continuing to get
Oh my god, it's onboard footage!
this April 1st, the flight of Artemis 2. Well,
Okay, I don't think the stream here is showing onboard footage, but I can see onboard footage right now. In the NASA spaceflight stream right now. That is onboard footage of the SLS. Okay, I should have chosen another stream for this, but okay. This is the
good words by the commander heading towards that.
on the right-hand screen, you should probably
moonrise.
see like
Their
onboard
zero-G
footage.
indicator happens
That's
to be
the
named
plume
Rise
of the
as
vehicle.
well.
I think that's infrared.
Created by a second grader in California. Taken
Okay, this
from
is amazing.
Inspiration by
Okay,
the iconic
I don't know what else to say, but maybe
Earthrise image.
They lost one of the engines, they will be able to continue the mission.
Okay,
I believe it's all the way actually to the
The call we were just hearing.
everything still looks
regarding
good
the
here.
Engines still have.
Get ready for
good
core stage
RS-25s.
shutdown,
Only 3
which
would be needed
would
to carry
probably
to
show up.
the
It should
correct
probably
point
occur
for
maybe
MECO at this point, so they
L
are
plus
in a very
8
good
minutes
position
into flight.
at this stage in the flight. Now approaching T plus 6 minutes.
Oh my God! Look, there's 4 people in that vehicle. Keep in mind that there are 4 people in the vehicle. I would.
2 minutes from core stage MECO.
before that, the core stage engines should throttle down to limited G's, because even though
Looking at a animation
there's,
rendering, a
there's
visualization you can see in
renders
the
of the
upper left-hand
vehicle.
corner of your screen. This is not from a tracking camera, but a visualization of what is happening in
Okay,
real time. This rendering coming from NASA. About 6.5.
Integrity. Expect nominal
Okay,
shutdown.
hopefully get more onboard footage. I want to see that.
Integrity copies. Nominal shutdown.
A good view of the contrail there from firing room 1. I believe that's the silhouette of Artemis launch director Charlie Blackwell Thompson. Has to be ecstatic so far of how this mission has
What
performed.
are these comments? Okay, okay, let's ignore those comments.
7 minutes into the mission now.
Look at that.
Now less than 1 minute away to MECO.
Okay.
Main engine cutoff.
We're probably 1 minute away from core stage shutdown. Hopefully we see
Engines will begin to throttle down
an
as they
uneventful,
approach the
like
point of
hopefully we see a
main engine
nominal
cutoff.
ICPS
Now, nearly 7.5
separation,
minutes post-flight.
and hopefully a few minutes later that will be followed by orbital insertion burn.
Integrity. AOA open.
they could be able to go once around,
AOA
all the way around the Earth.
Okay,
back to the Pacific Ocean on the west coast.
I think we're 20 seconds away from core stage shutdown. We could be.
It's still 20 seconds to MECO. Main engine
NASA reporting nominal trajectory still so far. A call out relating to an abort zone
Okay, engine
in
shutdown.
the Pacific Ocean.
Core stage shutdown. We're seeing that's just
Coming up to MECO here momentarily.
telemetry of the vehicle. Okay, that's core stage shutdown, I think.
Looks like MECO to me.
Okay.
Got that diff there, like.
Oh, that's the ICPS. Oh my God! Yes.
Integrity.
Yes!
Nominal MECO.
Okay, the crew is
separated.
now separated from the core stage. ICPS should not ignite as of now, but it should ignite a few minutes later.
On board, Stan.
Here it goes, it's catching up.
Okay, what should follow next should be like, I think, yeah, it should be a solar panel deployment. Is that, okay, that's a horizon, I think. No, that's...
This camera view from one of NASA's imaging planes, WB-57, I believe.
Okay.
Now back to the visualization showing the interim cryogenic propulsion stage.
2,222 by 27 kilometer orbit.
A little more than 9 minutes into the flight so far.
Okay, we should probably wait for some time.
The engine nozzle should have extended by this point.
Okay, the after solar array wing. Okay, I'm just reading it from there. But after solar panel deployment, hopefully a few minutes later, the vehicle would be close to its apogee. After it's close to its apogee, it will perform a orbital insertion burn. Keep in mind that the performance of the ICPS is low, which is why its apogee is high. Otherwise, the vehicle would re-enter in a ballistic descent because it wouldn't have enough time to it would not have enough time to perform its orbital insertion burn. Okay.
That call.
Hopefully, get online. We get footage, onboard footage of solar array ring deployment. Yeah.
Tracking towards the perigee raise maneuver about 49 minutes post liftoff.
Also, I would note that maybe.
Before then, though, the Orion solar arrays.
Yeah, I would be able to see the TLI.
European service module that's expected at T plus 20 minutes.
Okay. I will definitely be able to see the TLI, I think.
Now, it's very important to stress
yeah.
that the vision is nowhere near done. We're just 30 minutes into a 10-day mission, okay?
Integrity, good. Neds deploy.
Copy that, stand good, Neds.
Yeah, okay, so that call out was the nozzle deployment on the RL-10 engine. So the upper stage has an RL-10 engine.
Okay,
Houston for PWD setup, just a reminder, halfway open on the secondary.
We copy that, stand halfway open.
That's hard to see, honestly. Just the lights on the other side.
They can light this however they like, but they decide to light it realistically when it goes into the evening, which we can't see from the onboard cameras, which the animation is.
And just confirming there that the RL-10 nozzle was extended as expected. The communication now from the Johnson Space Center to Commander Reed Wiseman coming from the Capcom, who is NASA astronaut Stan Love.
That's a good thing because the RL-10 engine here is very worrying for me. There's a lot of things that could happen.
Who will now be able to raise their visors as well for NASA.
Oh. I think if the RL-10 engine did not manage to extend and the crew had to abort, I think that, I don't know, their perigee. It could be below zero. They could be in a ballistic descent. So I think that if that thing were to occur, although it didn't, I think that they would use the Orion spacecraft to boost the perigee to a safe altitude where re-entry would be survivable. But we already have passed through that risk because the RL-10 engine is already extended. But keep in mind, there's a lot more things that could happen. But the crew. But what's nice to say is that the crew is now in a.
As we're awaiting the next big milestone, which is set to be the
Houston C3 aux power back in auto.
Copy C3 aux, and we're 2 minutes to maneuver.
Let's go ahead and listen in to NASA commentator here for a moment from the Johnson Space Center, I believe.
We'll have an awful lot of. Can I say fantastic? I can say that. You can say that. We're gonna have a lot of freaking fantastic shots to show y'all.
Okay, hopefully you see that.
Seconds of mission elapsed time. We're going to continue to follow the crew of the Artemis 2 mission. They are beginning their journey around the moon to verify the systems that will take us to its surface. An incredible ascent. Artemis 2 is underway. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen begin their journey to the moon. Still milestones to come up as we await solar array deploy and the critical burns that will get integrity It's a high Earth orbit around the Earth before engines are fired to get us around the moon. We'll keep tabs on Integrity and its crew from here in Mission Control Houston. But for now, we're going to send it back to you, Megan and Nicole at the Kennedy Space Center. Very jealous.
What the hell are these comments? Okay. I would like to note that there's still a lot of things that have to go right here. And I'm hoping for all of them to go well because I'm very anxious right now. The solar arrays are kind of necessary for the vehicle. I don't know if the vehicle I think that the vehicle has fuel cells, but I don't think they're sufficient enough to provide enough power for the vehicle, because in the Apollo program they did use fuel cells, but for the Orion spacecraft here, it relies on solar energy. I think there are fuel cells, but I think they're only going to be used for emergency uses. Hopefully we see those solar arrays deploy, the solar panels here deploy, because they're very crucial for the spacecraft. You can imagine that. Yeah, very important, in fact. Okay. I don't. Let me just check my next spaceflight app. I forgot when the solar array. Okay, T plus 20 minutes. That means we're
teams
just.
are awaiting the deployment of the Orion solar arrays from the European Service Module, which is expected in about 4 minutes' time from now. Taking a look at the split screen between the visualization of what's happening with the interim cryogenic propulsion stage and the Orion spacecraft on the left, and the now empty mobile launcher there on the right-hand side of your screen. NASA leadership mentioned that there were a number of improvements made to the mobile launcher to make it more resilient against the impacts of 8.8 million pounds of thrust provided by the 2 solid rocket boosters and 4 RS-25s that we just saw propel the start of the Artemis 2 mission. The goal is to get this mobile launcher back in a configuration where they were able to return it to the vehicle assembly building in the not too distant future, since with the goal to launch the Artemis 3 mission now in a little more than a year's time, the stacking will need to get underway later this year, and that begins with the mobile launcher returning to the vehicle assembly building once it has been cleared to do so.
Okay, so, we are 3 minutes away from solar array deployment. Then after that, the next major event should
happen. And Integrity Houston, cross-tie is on board per the ETSI-DEM.
The next major event should happen in about
We copy Houston, thank you.
like 30 minutes. It would be the perigee raise maneuver, where the entire vehicle would raise itself to like nominal, into a nominal orbit. After that, it says here apogee raise burn. Oh yeah, I forgot. They're gonna do they're gonna raise their orbit before performing a TLI burn. I just forgot about that part of the mission. Okay. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. TLI should not happen in 3 hours. It should probably happen in more. Judging by. Yeah. Okay. I would like to note that.
Integrity anywhere until that momentary prop caution.
Shit. There's an ad playing right now. I'm sorry.
And read no action. We're looking at it.
Not the end of their journey, the beginning of their journey, because they still have a very
Yeah, I would like to know that the TLI they're gonna perform would probably take place in maybe 6 hours or so, maybe more. They're the ICPS would just raise the apogee in such a way where the Orion spacecraft could perform the rest of the burn. Yeah, but I accidentally said TLI will happen in 3 hours. It's actually gonna happen more like 6 hours or so. It really depends on the proportions of the vehicle's orbit. We're still waiting like for solar array deployment. It's gonna probably happen in about 30 seconds now, judging by the timer there. The L plus timer there. Once the vehicle goes through perigee raise maneuver, I'm probably gonna continue paper modeling. Yeah. I will see how long I could make this stream like last before I have
Data
to.
Integrity Houston, update on TDRS handover for your pad.
Give us just 1 minute. And Stan, you can read it. Ike is ready to copy.
Roger. TDRS handover east to west expected 1 second earlier at 5:1 minutes 26 seconds.
Alright. Okay. What?
Hi, Stan. We copy 1 second earlier for 5126 Teeters east to west, and saws are starting to deploy. Thermal knives are firing.
We concur. Thanks for the report.
I
Is that a little glow in the animation there?
I think
wait,
I think NASA's animation has got a little bit confused here because it thinks they're in the perigee raise burn, which is not
okay.
until
That's weird.
Now 21 minutes and change post liftoff.
What?
Conversation we were just hearing, a confirmation that solar array deploy is in work.
Okay, hopefully that telemetry is not true. We can see that
Reaching
the
a
miles
TDRS
per hour
handover a little
telemetry
bit, about
indicator
1
there
second
doesn't
earlier
increase
than
at all. In fact, it's
originally
decreasing.
planned.
Okay, I think that's just a glitch. Yeah, don't believe that. Don't believe that visualization there. It's just a glitch, I think, because the perigee raise maneuver should happen in about like 50 minutes or so.
TDRS is
T
the
plus 50
tracking
minutes.
and data
So that means 30 minutes later.
relay satellite system.
So yeah.
It's part of the Near Space Network, which is working to maintain communication with the Orion spacecraft during this early phase in flight. As the mission goes on, it will transition to comms with the Deep Space Network.
Hopefully we get onboard footage, as I said again.
And integrity for prop messages, we see 2 temperature measurements right near the line. It's that momentary message you saw earlier. We're going to suppress those. It's CM helium heater 2 T1 and heater 1 T1. They're going suppressed.
Integrity, thank you. We see the same.
Okay.
Listening in here as they get more call-outs. Sound like there were two.
Okay, I think it'll take some time to reach that ICPS raise perigee. Okay, it's just that perigee raise maneuver.
Something will sort of near an alarm, and if they suppress it, you're not too terribly concerned about it right now. We'll see if we get more call-outs.
Okay, so the next major event should not happen for maybe 30 minutes, as I said. It's more of now like 27 minutes. Yeah.
Near the line, and the decision to suppress those, which is basically just turn off the alarm. Of course, they'll watch you.
Okay. This is there's like okay. I still get goosebumps from that launch. Okay.
Houston Integrity, we are happy to report that Jeremy has the O2 sensors on.
Copy O2 sensors.
Although I do wish that there are like onboard foot. Oh, okay. There, the automatic now shows us the solar panels deployed here. We are still awaiting for perigee race maneuver, which would happen in maybe 26 minutes, judging by the L plus timer up there.
Integrity Houston, we see 4 saws deployed and latched, ready for ATO preferred.
And we're almost there in the procedure stand, and we see the same thing.
Good confirmation of...
Integrity Houston, we are seeing a 7-second miscompare between the MET on Orion and ICPS. We'd like you to read us the MET from your center status bar and for the ICPS on StackSum.
Okay. So,
and we see a absolutely precise alignment.
I don't really know what to do now.
14, 15,
I guess we should just wait.
15, precisely aligned.
I'll keep the stream on for as long as I could. Hopefully we reach the TLI. Maybe 6
Copy, thank you for
or
that.
8
We'll investigate
hours
that
later.
issue.
Yeah, 8 or 9. It could be 8 hours later. I don't really know.
Copy, ATO preferred.
Was that ATO, Alex? Yeah. Maybe that great look. Yeah. Sorry, sometimes I don't know.
I really feel bad for ADN Pix 100. He's saying it didn't launch yet. It already did launch. I mean, it's on my comment section. I'm just looking at the live comment section. Oh. Okay.
Time now, T plus 26 minutes, 3 seconds, and counting. A good confirmation that the 4 solar arrays have deployed on the Orion spacecraft and have latched to begin to draw power. The ICPS has the RL-10 engine facing the sun to give them the optimal position for starting to draw power.
Okay. We are now 24 minutes away from the next major event. After that, we would have to wait for about... Yeah, I say we have to wait. I say... Maybe, yeah, we have to wait for 1 hour before the ICPS raises the apogee to a high altitude. It's not gonna... It's technically a TLI. It's not gonna be a direct one. It'll be taking a TLI window maybe later into the orbit. But yeah, it's gonna perform just a apogee raise maneuver. Technically the Orion spacecraft itself will complete the TLI, but I don't know whether or not I should be saying that the ICPS would be doing most of the TLI, because yeah, it will, but it's just that logically it's not okay, never mind, it is doing most of the TLI. I thought that, well, it's not going to do a direct TLI, it's more going to do an indirect TLI. Yeah. Hold on.
Burst into daylight when it comes out from behind the planets.
Also, don't trust the infographic shown here. It's not reliable at all. The engine, the RL10 engine is not online as of now. It did extend successfully. However, it is not expected to ignite right now. Okay, it's expected to ignite about 22 minutes now, judging by the L plus timer. Okay, I just said it multiple times already, but yeah.
Which is, still going to be pretty spectacular. And when they separate, we're going to have those proximity operations.
Integrity for GNC, we're taking channel 1 to unfiltered and to BFS.
Okay, Stan, we're watching. Go ahead.
Now a little more than 29 minutes into flight. The next big milestone is coming up in about 20 minutes time. That is the perigee raise maneuver, which will take the Orion spacecraft in the upper stage from its current orbit at 1,381 by 17
Okay, guys.
miles and raise that perigee up to 115 statute miles.
Okay, NASA didn't really
Again,
fix that infographic yet. I don't understand what's happening here. Yeah, but again, I'm just going to remind you that the RS-25 engine on the ICPS is not online. It's not producing any thrust as of now. Although when it's extended, it is not producing thrust. That's just a glitch in the infographic. As I said here, I'm just going to do something real quick.
Photographer Michael Kane. Want to point out something here in this photo. If you just look to the left of the mobile launcher, in between the ML and that middle lightning protection tower, you can see the slide wire baskets that make up the emergency egress system were released and are starting to head towards the terminus point in this image. It was unclear if this was supposed to happen, if this is part of the nominal procedure at liftoff, that those jettison away, perhaps as a means of protecting them from the impact of the solid rocket boosters and RS-25 engines. We'll have a briefing from NASA a little bit later this evening, and so that'll be something we're curious if that's brought up by the NASA leadership, or if not, then we or perhaps another one of our colleagues in the press corps will be able to have that addressed. Moving on to our next launch photo here. This is a photo from our Adam Bernstein as the SLS rocket takes flight alongside the Stars and Stripes above the Artemis program flag that you see just beneath there at the flagpole adjacent to the countdown clock. And finally, we'll conclude our roundup with a photo from John Pisani. A wide view with the flags on the right and an eager crowd excited to see what is poised to be humans' return to the lunar area for the first time since 1972 and Apollo 17. As a reminder, though, this is not a landing mission. Crews will also not be entering into lunar orbit. This mission, Artemis 2, designed to be a free return trajectory, which means the Orion spacecraft, both the crew module and the European service module, will perform a free return trajectory, a big loop around the far side of the moon, and target a splashdown next week, scheduled for April 10th, if all continues to go well, in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of San Diego, where the U.S. Navy will be ready and waiting to move in quickly to recover the astronauts and bring them safely aboard, either immediately onto the recovery ship that will be awaiting them, and then flying quickly back to shore for initial medical checkouts, which is standard for this type of return operation. We saw the recovery team get through their paces back in the Artemis 1 mission. Of course, that was an uncrewed test flight of the Orion spacecraft. This Orion spacecraft also performing a slightly different trajectory this time, which is why there were fewer launch days available to the team, because instead of doing the skip re-entry as was originally planned for the mission, there was a little bit more cracking and breakup of the shield, the heat shield at the base of the crew module for the Artemis 1 mission, and so teams planned this different trajectory, coming in at a slightly steeper angle. That skip entry, though, will return as the heat shield for the Artemis 3 mission is new and improved. Well, I say that yes, the heat shield is improved for the Artemis 3 mission, but that will be in low Earth orbit. So still waiting to see what the full mission profile of that flight will be. But for Artemis 4 and beyond, the plan at this point is to perform that skip entry. Now a little more than 34 and a half minutes into this mission so far. Coming up next at T+49 is that all-important perigee raise maneuver, which will put the crew into a safe orbital position. Some of the next big mission milestones after that perigee raise maneuver that happened here during flight day 1. Less than 2 hours after, or I should say less than an hour after the perigee raise maneuver is an apogee raise burn, which will put the Orion spacecraft and the ICPS into a high Earth orbit.
Okay, guys.
43,730 by 0 statute miles.
Okay, guys, I might
And
have to go back. I mean, I have to like stop the stream at
apogee
T plus 1 hour and 47 minutes, 48 minutes
when you're
actually.
ready to copy.
After apogee race burn, yeah. So yeah, I would like to note
All
that.
right, Houston, we are ready to copy.
TIG is 2 seconds earlier at 4 minutes, 48 seconds. TIGO unchanged at 26 seconds.
49, 48, Tigo 26.
And you're hearing those slight updates coming from Mission Control Houston, Capcom Stan Love up to the crew on board the Orion spacecraft. Perigee raise burn will be a total of 26 seconds, so a fairly short burn of the RL-10 engine. Crews busily working to make sure all of the life support systems are in operation as expected.
Integrity Houston, for Optimus on the PCD, we have time update instructions when you're ready.
And Houston, Integrity, we copy. Hands are pretty busy at this time. I think we will call you back when we're ready for that.
All right, that one is not urgent. 2 minutes to maneuver to PRM attitude.
We are watching and concurred. 90 seconds-ish, maybe.
Now T plus 39 minutes, 6 seconds and counting. We're about 10 minutes away from the start of that perigee raise maneuver, which will last a total of 26 seconds. Let's go ahead and listen in now to Mission Control Center in Houston.
Once concluded, Stan Love will report it back up to the crew, and we'll stand by for that.
Integrity Houston, MCC polls go for PRM, pending attitude and saws.
Hey, we copy. MCC is go. Maneuver starting.
Minutes of mission elapsed time. The maneuver to the burn attitude has begun. The maneuver also is paired with reorientation of the solar array wings that have been deployed. They will have various positions throughout the duration of the flight.
I think that's just an infographic glitch because the vehicle didn't perform a perigee raise maneuver burn yet.
So when deployed,
as of now, it's just positioning itself.
Solar array wing configuration that was called solar normal.
Expect that maneuver to occur in 49
surface area
in 9
solar
minutes.
array wings to be drawing power and powering up those batteries.
I would just like to note that I will come back maybe a few minutes before the perigee raise maneuver. Then if I am allowed to, then I could probably as well watch the apogee raise burn. Then that'll be all for the stream, I think. Yeah, I might have to miss the. I might not miss the TLI. However, I will not stream that. Maybe not. I don't know.
To take on the loads imparted by the ICPS main engine when they execute the 26-second burn. You can see in the animation here, the solar array wings are in motion, and the attitude is being reconfigured to point the engine in the correct direction. Those solar array wings being pointed forward. You're getting a live look inside the Artemis 2 mission flight control room. The team you see here oversaw the ascent of our 4 astronauts inside Integrity, launching at 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. Now again, this room will be occupied 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with flight controllers shifting on 3 shifts to oversee 24/7 operations of Artemis 2 while in flight. We will cover that live on the NASA YouTube channel, and we'll be covering that around the clock as we begin to wrap up our coverage here on NASA Plus. Before I do want to send it over to our colleagues at the Kennedy Space Center. And to my colleagues, it was a pleasure to join the teams at the Kennedy Space Center and be a part of such a historic launch. Here in Houston, again, we're turning our attention to the mission. And for now, we'll say farewell and thank you to our colleagues there.
Okay, I think that... Okay, I think it just cut off early, but... I think that I might have to end the stream much earlier. They said they're gonna end the commentary soon. Like, maybe after the perigee race maneuver burn. But once we see that, maybe I think they said that they're gonna end the commentary, but I don't know. Because there's another event, which is interim cryogenic propulsion state separation. And I believe that would happen in 3 hours. But I will not be able to see that. Because I might not be allowed to, yeah.
It looks more expensive than ours. Yeah, that's better. I don't know if they're paying that much over there.
Okay. I believe it's all sunsets in the U.S. It's about to be morning in my area. Yeah. Okay. We are now about 5 minutes away from the next event from happening, and once that happens, I'm gonna be ending the stream. Yep. Okay, we are now 4 minutes away from that last major event of this, of this stream before I end it. Okay. Okay.
Integrity Houston, we see Orion in attitude and Saws in position for PRM.
Okay, that's commentary. They're now ready for the perigee race maneuver. Okay.
And a good call there at T plus 46 minutes, 20 seconds and counting of the Orion solar panels in good position and a good attitude ahead of the planned start of the 26-second perigee raise maneuver. Here is where about 46.5 minutes after liftoff.
Also, keep in mind that both the ICPS
As we're
and
looking out here back at what is fortunately a pad devoid
Oh,
of a
I
rocket,
should
which
also
means the
reference that.
mission off to, thankfully, a good start here. The mobile launcher, lots of work ahead to make sure it's in a good configuration for stacking to begin now later this year. We are joined once again by our friend and colleague, Stephen Clark, a space reporter now at Ars Technica.
Okay.
Stephen, it was a spectacular launch.
Yes.
What'd you think?
You couldn't ask for better weather for a launch. I mean, golden hour. It was clear skies, gorgeous launch, and feeling that the thunder and the roar from the solid rocket boosters was something you really can't forget. It's unmistakable. It has a different feel to it than a liquid-fueled rocket, and followed it downrange for a good 5 minutes until it finally got too low on the horizon to see with the naked eye, but we could see the boosters separate from the core stage, and even caught a glimpse with the naked eye of the service module panel separating for just a moment until they got lost in the backdrop of the sky. So,
okay.
I think I've gone on record in my writing and several podcasts and stuff that I'm pro day launch, and I'm so
Also,
thankful
I would like
for the
to
launch
state
before
this one more time. The
so
intercryogenic propulsion
so much
stage
more interesting to see the rocket
doesn't really have a high doesn't have a high thrust output with the RL10 extendable RL10 nozzle engine on it, so it would have to have a high apoapsis in order to be able to perform a proper orbital insertion
We'll
burn.
learn as a community visually a lot more about this vehicle here.
Yes, and it'll be interesting.
But
to
in
know what
return, it has a very good performance. It has a lot of delta V.
performance issue or optimization that they see
Okay, we should
in the video, but
receive
all the cameras run the launch pad, the high-speed
telemetry at
view
least
cameras, the long-range
suggesting
trackers,
the
onboard cameras.
perigee
We're
race
gonna be
maneuver
able
has
to see
occurred
as those videos come out in
somewhere.
the coming hours and days.
And it seems like this administration is one that really is pushing for the visuals to drive the story, so hopefully we won't have too terribly long to wait before we start seeing those troves show up on the NASA Video Archive and the HQ Flickr page.
Let's hope so, yeah. I can't wait to see it.
And so here we are now, just about 49 and a half minutes post liftoff. The perigee raise maneuver should be getting underway here in just a second. If we hear the call that's starting, we'll go ahead and pause so we can listen into that.
Okay.
Should last about 26 seconds in total. Coming up here in just a second. So we'll go ahead and pause and show you back some views of the SLS mobile launcher, now devoid of the SLS here. Let's go back to the sunset view. Here's where...
Okay, let's see if we at least get telemetry of that event. Okay, doesn't look like we're gonna get telemetry, or maybe we're just gonna get confirmation?
Not hearing anything for the moment on Earth to Orion loops. Of course, we will pause if that does change, but assuming that the perigee raise maneuver was successful, it'll set things up for the next big burn, the apogee raise maneuver. And that'll put the rocket on the course to a high Earth orbit, which is exciting.
Yeah, out to, I think, a little more than 40,000 miles, 44,000 miles, statute miles, I think, if my memory serves, which will be beyond geosynchronous orbit, actually about twice the altitude of geosynchronous orbit, where a lot of communications satellites reside. So quite far out, and that will be, the farthest anyone has gone from Earth by far since 1972. Of course, this mission later on will likely it will break if everything goes according to plan.
Okay.
This record all time that was set during Apollo
I
13
think.
out beyond the far
Okay,
zone.
sorry.
But just going into this high
Okay.
Earth orbit is really.
It's getting very late
uncharted territory
now. Okay. I accidentally closed that. Okay, but I will end this stream now. I might be able to see the TLI maybe later on into the day, maybe at 5 p.m. or something like that. I will see you in the next video or stream. I don't know, but yeah. Thanks for watching my reaction of the Artemis 1 launch. 2, I mean, 2.